What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another live stream, and I am finally back home. So now I can do a proper live stream. It's been bugging me this whole time I've been on vacation. I enjoyed myself, first off, so I had a good time. But not being able to do a live stream the way that I wanted to do a live stream really, really got to me because I wanted to reach out to you guys. I wanted to talk with you guys and kind of share my experiences with you guys. And I wasn't able to do that, at least not at the level that I wanted to do it. So I ended up at the airport both times. For whatever reason, at the airport, I had the best service. Even my cell phone wasn't working properly when I was at the timeshare. So yeah, that was something I was a little disappointed with. But hey, things happen, so you just kind of have to move on from there. So we got everything going, hopefully. You guys see I don't have my mic in front of me today. That I couldn't get the audio back. The audio was acting up. So I didn't even want to I didn't even want to mess with it. So let's see, Dave, what's going on? See, there's no way to save the link off the app. Sorry. Okay, yeah, no worries. I'll post it. I was just trying to save a little bit of time here. Yeah, I set up everything, and all my normal setup wasn't working properly, so I had to kind of change things around. So I was asking David if he could just send out a link for me. But yeah, that's no problem. I can put it out on Facebook. So we are back. As you guys come in the room, just let me know you're here just by saying hello. I put out some links earlier today, and those links are no good because I was using it on a different platform. Basically, I set it up in the wrong little section of YouTube, and so it didn't cross over. So basically, all those links that I sent, or I sent out a link to Facebook, and then I sent out a link on Reddit. Both those links aren't working. So you'll just have to hopefully people will still be able to find me. But yeah, those links didn't come out right. Okay, so if you guys are in here right now, just let me know you're here just by saying hello. And we will continue with our live stream. So we do a live stream on Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as on Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So stop by, join the party, and we talk about travel credit cards. We talk about travel. Today we're going to talk about travel in Kauai, just how much I spent. I talked a little bit about it in my live stream yesterday. I did a live stream at the airport yesterday. I didn't have that many people jump in, so I wanted to kind of do a proper live stream today and talk about it. And I get it. I mean, it was an impromptu thing. It was Sunday. I don't even remember what time it was. For me, it was 4 o'clock that I started, so it was 7 o'clock here on a Sunday. I didn't promote it or anything. I just got out and started talking. So I get it. I understand. Not everybody was available, so that's why we're going to talk about it today. But we'll talk about Kauai. Now, I did some things where I kind of cheated because I was staying in a timeshare for 7 days, so that was the bulk of my time as far as hotel stay, stuff like that. So I saved a lot of money there. I'd say $400 to $500 if you really look at it. But I will talk about the points that I used to book the airfare, as well as the points that I used for my hotel stays. And if you guys checked out my Instagram, I do have Instagram, Travel Explore Click. So jump on there, Instagram, and just follow me on Instagram. And I am starting to post a lot on Instagram now, whereas in the past I didn't. I'm really getting into the whole Instagram thing. I'm kind of moving away just a little bit, not too much, but moving away from Facebook just a little bit. I still have the Facebook group. We still have that going. And that's a great way for you to find out information, travel credit card information, referral links, all that good stuff, as well as, and I'll put all this in the description, but as well as a WhatsApp group that I started where we talk about the travel reward credit cards and travel as well. Now, the reason that I did the WhatsApp group, the reason why I have the Facebook group is for people who are still on Facebook, I shouldn't say still, people who are on Facebook and they're comfortable with Facebook. Not everyone's on WhatsApp, and I get it, but WhatsApp is a great way to get in there and learn about, or not learn, get in there. You guys have to excuse me, okay? I slept for like maybe 3 hours, 4 hours. I slept for 4 hours in the last 2 days, and I'll talk about all that in a minute. But for those of you who use WhatsApp, who have WhatsApp, and can benefit from just getting kind of like instant. Like WhatsApp is just a big group text. That's what it is. So if there's information that you need to find out, it's easy to go on WhatsApp and get that information on our channel because all you need to do is ask the question and you're going to get a response relatively quickly because it's just like a group chat. Just like if you're texting your friend, then it's that same setup. So everything is pretty quick. Let's see, I'm having an issue here sending that off. Okay, so did it go? Here, let me see. I'm on the Facebook group right now, just trying to send this link. For whatever reason, it's not letting me submit it or send it or post it. I don't know why it's not letting me post. Okay, there it is right there. All right, so I just posted it to the Facebook group. So obviously you guys are watching, so you know that it's not there, but I just posted the good link so everyone can come in. All right, so if you guys are in here right now, please hit the like button so we can bring more people in. I will be saying that periodically throughout the video or throughout the live stream. Hit the like button, hit the like button. And the reason that I'm doing that is because the more likes that the video gets or the live stream gets, the more that they promote it. So for example, if you guys hit the like button right now, they'll start promoting it out. Oh, people like this, and they'll start promoting it to other people that might be interested in travel reward credit cards and travel to Kauai, all that. So that's the reason why I keep saying hit the like button. Only hit it once though, because if you hit it again, then it just negates the like that you put in earlier. Okay, so if you guys are in here right now, just let me know you're here just by saying hello. Give me a thumbs up, just like Terry did. So I know that you guys are at least here, and I can give you a shout out. And if you guys have questions or anything like that, feel free to put those in the chat as well. And we will get started right now. So if you guys didn't know, I did go to Hawaii. I was in Honolulu for 2 days, and then I went to Kauai for 8 days. I had a really good time. The weather wasn't that good. It was actually, I've been there. This is my fourth trip, I believe, fourth or fifth trip, and all the other times that I've gone, the weather's been great. This time, the weather wasn't the same. So, and I'll talk a little bit about that. All right, let's give some shout outs right now. And let's see. So we got David in the building. What's going on, buddy? And Pariah, what's going on? Dolly, what's going on? Brian, what's up, man? And Don D, what's going on? The first time I think I've seen you, Don D. Bruce Law, Bruce Law, what's going on? Terry, what's going on? And let's see, Will, what's going on? All right, guys, so like I said, if you guys are in here, just hit the like button. Share this with your friends. If you have anybody that you think would be interested, please share it at this time. Hopefully we can bring some new people in. I'm really focused right now. I want to build a big audience on the live streams. And I want to have as many people on as possible so we can all kind of learn together and talk about travel credit cards and talk about travel too. We talk a lot about the travel credit cards, but we don't talk that much about the travel. Most of us are in this game because we want to travel more, and it's always nice to see the end result, right? Earning all these points is interesting, and there are a lot of different things, a lot of different nuances that you have to factor in and figure out in order to earn these points. But then we also like to see the outcome, so the travel, the hotel stays. And I don't know if you guys saw a couple of days ago, I put it on Instagram, I put it in the WhatsApp group. I got upgraded at the Hyatt, the Grand Hyatt, and that was an amazing room. And I was only there for one night. Unfortunately, now I'm shooting myself in the foot. I'm thinking, I should have stayed for at least 2 nights. The plan initially was to stay for a couple of nights, but then I didn't want to push it too much as far as I didn't want to come in. I would have been coming in tonight, like probably around this time, actually a little later maybe. For whatever reason, coming back to Kauai, those flights they come in at like early in the morning or late at night. So that would have been my situation, but I could have stayed an extra night. Being that I got the upgrade, I kind of wish I would have Kind of wish I would have stayed an extra night, but hey, that is how it. I mean, it works that way sometimes. But yeah, I got a nice upgrade to a suite, ocean view suite, and I was really at a point, and I'll talk a little bit more about this in a second. But I was really at a point where I was getting really frustrated with Hyatt, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay, so let's see. We got a few more people in the room. Let's see, Ron, what's going on? James, what's going on? All right, so if you guys have questions or anything, you guys can go ahead and put them in the chat right now. And like I said, if you just got in here, hit the like button just so we can promote it more and get some more people to trickle on in. And I also want to try to get up to at least 30 likes. That's kind of my the set number that I like to hit, at least 30 likes for each live stream. Usually the live streams do well after the fact. And if I get at least 30 likes. So that's what I'm aiming for at this point. Okay, so as far as my trip, let's talk about how many points that I use to book all the, or not to book, all the points that I use for this whole setup. And David saying beautiful hotel room. Thank you. Yeah, it was nice. I didn't do anything. All I did was be nice, and they did an upgrade for me. Okay, so my points. Let's talk about that. So I stayed in Honolulu for 2 days. Unfortunately, I came in at night, so it was only really like a day and a half. But I stayed at the Hyatt place. I used points to book that. It was 12,000 points each night. Nice Hyatt place, nice hotel. This was probably one of the older. Like when I'm on the island, Hawaii, Kauai, usually the hotels the upkeep isn't the same as some, and I think mainly it's just because of getting the products out here, the construction that needs to take place. It's a little harder to do it on an island than it is to do it like in the States. So the upkeep of the building was an older building. It was still nice, and it still had the same modern kind of Hyatt vibe. Hyatt usually has kind of a modern vibe, which I like. And so it still had all that. They had the free breakfast, which was very good. Nice spread. They actually had it on 2 floors, believe it or not. So this was a large hotel. It was, I don't know how many stories we stayed on. I stayed on the 14th floor. My parents stayed on the 7th floor. Now my parents they booked through a travel agent, and I just asked them, hey, can you see if you can stay at a Hyatt property? And that's why they were staying at a Hyatt property. And then I booked using points. So 12,000 points, 2 nights, that's 24,000 points that I used for just that. Okay, so we stayed in Honolulu. I only really had 1 full day to kind of do things, and so we went to the Polynesian Cultural Center, which was nice. If you are ever in Honolulu, go to that Polynesian Cultural Center. It's a very good place to learn about Polynesian culture, and they take you through. It's nice because it's almost like an amusement park, to be honest, the way they have it set up, and you kind of walk from one place to the next, to the next, to the next. But they have all the different islands. So you have Samoa, you have New Zealand, you have Hawaii, and you have a couple of other ones. I can't remember right offhand. But anyway, you walk to these different little sections. They have presentations, and they do a presentation. They tell you about their island and their different cultures and things like that. So it's really an interesting place, and they show you the dances and all that. So you can do all that, and then part of the ticket, you have a luau. So they have traditional luau, so you can go do that, which that's really nice. The food was good. The food was on par with the luau in. I'll talk a little bit about the luau in Kauai, but it was on par with that. So food was very good, and the show, they have a show after that. So you go to the luau, and they're playing music, and they do some hula and stuff like that. But then they have a full-on show at the very end, and that's about an hour to an hour and a half show. And they would not let you record during that show. First show I've ever gone to where they strictly prohibited you from using any camera, photography or video, cell phones. They didn't want anything going on. So they announced that periodically. Like in the beginning, they announced it a lot. When I brought in, I had a bunch of camera equipment because I always do. I always carry a camera bag. They told me specifically you cannot record anything. You can record before, but you can't record during the show. The show was excellent. A really high production show, and it was the best like show that I've seen at a luau. So that's a Polynesian Cultural Center. That's in Honolulu. Yeah, it's not. I was gonna say it's in Waikiki. I don't know exactly. I don't know. I don't think it's. We're in Waikiki. We drove an hour away, so I don't know exactly where the location is. But it's basically you pay for your ticket. The bus will come pick you up, and then they'll take you to the Polynesian Cultural Center, and then they'll bring you back home. So it was a really good experience. So I highly recommend that if you go to Honolulu, do that. The Polynesian Cultural Center, do that. I've done some other things in Honolulu, and some of them I wouldn't really recommend. This I didn't do it on this trip, but trips prior I did the submarine thing. That I don't really recommend that. It wasn't much. So I highly recommend that Polynesian Culture Center. If you go to Hawaii, you have to do a luau, okay? And this is probably the best overall luau that you can go to, and the best overall experience when it comes to luau, learning about the Polynesian culture, and seeing a really good show. So it's not cheap though. I think it was about 100 plus, 100 maybe 30, $140 for it, but it's worth it. Any luau that you go to, you're going to probably pay at least $100. So it's definitely worth the extra $40 because you have all these different experiences that you can be a part of. Okay, let's see now. So we talked about that, 24,000 points, 2 nights, Hyatt Place. The reason why I always promote Hyatt Place, and if you guys are in here right now, please hit the like button so we can get some more people in here. The reason why I like Hyatt Place is because they have free breakfast, and like I said, they had it on 2 levels. So the first floor they had a smaller setup, which was nice, and then upstairs on the 3rd floor where they had the pool area, they had a real big spread. So it's always good to they spread it out, so that's good. So if you went to the 3rd floor, which was very busy and it was limited seats, then you could go down to the 1st floor and they had some more available seats, or you can do like you can bring it back to your room if you wanted to do that as well. So I did that. Now 24,000 points for that. Then we move on. Let's talk about the airfare. Airfare, I flew on United, or I booked on United. I flew with United and I flew with Hawaiian Air. The United flight, or all the flights together, was 45,000 points, which is really, it's good. I could have done it for less, but the reason that I went with United is because I wanted to do a stopover, so I saved points in that category, or in that situation, because basically what a stopover is, we all know what a layover is. We've all experienced layovers, but a stopover is basically you can stay for as long as you want and then jump on a plane and then go somewhere else. And so let me explain. So from Los Angeles, I flew to Honolulu. Okay, I flew on United to Honolulu. I flew economy, and I did like the extra legroom seat. So that's how I did that. It wasn't worth it to me to fly business class, not to Hawaii. It's a 5-hour flight. Okay, so flew to Honolulu, and then from Honolulu, I stayed there for 2 days. And then that 2 days, that was my stopover. And then from Honolulu, I flew to Kauai. Now that trip from Honolulu to Kauai, I didn't have to use any points. Didn't have to pay any cash. It was kind of included in the, you have the ability to use a stopover. You also have the ability to use a open jaw. So open jaw is basically, let's say I wanted to visit 3 or 4 islands, but I wanted to visit 3 or 4 islands, but I want to fly into Honolulu, and then I want to fly out of Kauai. But then I want to, on my own, I'll just pick some different, I can do a stopover. So do one stopover, and then pick a few other destinations that I want to go to. Maybe I want to do it by boat, or I want to fly, but I'll just, pay on my own. I found a really good deal, so I can fly to Kona, or I could fly to some different islands, right? So the open jaw basically says that if you fly into one airport, you can leave out of another airport. You don't have to leave out of the same airport that you fly. Generally, when you do a round trip ticket, you're going to have to fly back from the airport that you flew into. But with the open jaw, you can kind of move around. So like especially if you go to like Europe, you go to Paris, and you want to do Paris, Italy, Spain, you want to do all those, you want to take a train, you can do all that. And so I could say, yeah, I want to fly into Paris, and then I want to fly out of Spain. And so then I could work my way around all those areas and then just end up in Spain on the day that I need to fly out, or maybe a couple of days prior to me flying out, and then do that. So that's just open jaws. So in this case, I used the stopover. So with the stopover, I had, so I did that free flight from Honolulu to Kauai. And then once I was in Kauai, then I flew from Kauai back to the U.S. Or I said the U.S. I said that yesterday. I don't know why I say that. I flew back to the States, back to California. But I did have a layover, so I had to fly back to Maui, stay in Maui for like 4 hours, and then I flew back to California. The reason why, you have to be flexible with the points, so I wasn't able to book just a straight shot. I had to do a layover. Sometimes the layovers aren't as long. Most of the times they're not as long, but in this case it was like a 4.5 hour layover. So that's what I did with that. 45,000 points. So right now we have 24,000 for the hotel, for the Hyatt place, and then 45,000 for the airfare. And then now we'll go into, when I was in Kauai, we stayed at timeshare, so I didn't have to pay anything for that. So I made out really, really good when it came to that. And then I had that last night, 25,000 points to stay at a Grand Hyatt. I've never stayed at a Grand Hyatt before, so I wanted to experience that, and it was a really good experience. Now, 25,000. I don't really recommend spending that many points just to stay one night. But in my situation, I already had points on Hyatt, and I just said, yeah, I'm looking at my future plans, okay? So my future travel. I'll be staying at Airbnb when I go to Colombia. For the next 2 trips to Colombia, I'll be staying at Airbnb. So it'll give me some time to build up my Hyatt points again. And you can always transfer your points from Chase, so I can always top it off if I need to when it comes to staying at a Hyatt. But looking at that now, if I knew, actually, I do have a couple of Hyatt stays that are planned in the next couple weeks, but that's going to be local, and I'll explain that. Well, I'm going to VidCon. VidCon is out here in California, but I'm going to VidCon, and I want to stay at a property right near the convention center. That way I can kind of go to and from. And I talked about this yesterday in the live stream. VidCon basically is a video conference, so people who are interested in being a YouTuber or just make videos for a variety of different platforms, that's the convention that you want to go to. So if you're ever interested in making your own YouTube videos or anything like that, even camera stuff, they have a lot of camera equipment there. They have a full-on expo, so they're going to have a lot of that information there as well. But it just helps to go to these conventions. You network with different people. I went one other time. This will be my second time going. And the time that I went, it was great, and it kind of really got me focused. This was back in 2016. It really got me focused on, yes, you know what, I want to start doing this, YouTube seriously. In the past, I wasn't doing it seriously. So that kind of got me focused on that. So I will be going again, and I'll be staying at a Hyatt place for at least a couple of days, 2 days for right now that I have planned. The problem with VidCon, the problem with the Anaheim Convention Center, if you've never been there before, the parking is ridiculously expensive. It's like $19 or something like that for parking. And that's just that whole, and the Anaheim Convention Center is right across the street from Disneyland. Everything in that area, it's all tourists everywhere, right? So the prices are just hiked up and they're ridiculous. So it's $19 just to park. I would rather just use points and book a hotel for a couple of nights. I think it's 12,000 points each night, and have free parking, because at the Hyatt place, they're not going to charge you for parking. So you have free parking. You don't have to pay any resort fee or anything like that, as far as I know. I have to double check that, but I don't think you have to pay a resort fee. Especially if you're using points, I don't think you pay a resort fee anyway. And then not have to pay the $19 and be there, so I can kind of go to and from. The conference, there's different things that are going on, so I can go in and go see a panel on this, and then come back to the hotel room, and then go back and see a panel on this, and come back to the hotel room, and then go. If they have some night activity, happy hour stuff, I can do that, and then come back. Okay. All right, so I'm losing people, so let me get back to what we were talking about with points. And right now, please hit the like button so we can get more people in here. So when it comes to the points, yes, 25,000 for the Grand Hyatt stay, and I got upgraded, so that was really worth it in the long run. The going rate for the Grand Hyatt in Kauai was 500 and some change a night. And when I booked it, like I said, I used 25,000 points. I didn't pay anything out of pocket. The upgraded suite that I got was, believe it or not, it's $1,800 a night. That's what they were. That's what that room was going for. So, and it's Hawaii, right? So Hawaii is going to be expensive. It's like, I mean, it's a real popular destination, obviously, and people will pay top dollar to have a room with a view of the ocean and, you know, a suite, all that good stuff. So yeah, it was definitely, they definitely charge a lot more for that. Okay, so let's see if you guys have questions right now. So in grand total, I didn't even finish. In grand total, 94,000 points is what I used, and that was for 10 days, and I paid $150 out of pocket. And generally, I wouldn't have even paid that $150. It would have been like $11.40 or something like that. But I wanted to get the more legroom seats. So on the flight up, that 5-hour flight up, I had more legroom, and then on the flight back, I had more legroom. And then actually, it was $160 because I paid an extra $10 to have even more legroom when I did a little island hopper flight. So, all right. So questions, please put them in the chat right now. We're talking about travel reward credit cards, and if you guys are in here right now, just let me know you're here just by saying hello, so I can give you a shout out. And I don't think I'm having everything showing up on my chat here. Let's see. So I know that there's more going on. I see more going on, and I'm not seeing it here. Let's see. Okay. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, just let me know just by putting it in the chat here, and we'll move on down. Okay. Let's see. Let me go up to the top here. Now, what I'll do is, like I said, I give out the shout outs, and now we'll go back and we'll look at some of the questions here. Question mark. What's going on, David? You put a question mark here. Oh, okay. So David's asking. So I'll answer that question, then I'll go back up to the top because I know there are a couple other questions that people had. Okay, so what credit card did you use for dining and everything while you were on your trip? Okay, good question, David. I used the Chase Sapphire Reserve for some of the stuff that I like, the hotel, like the hotel. I'm sorry, the restaurant. So anytime I went to a restaurant, I used the Chase Sapphire Reserve on occasion, but I use the Chase Ink card, the Ink Cash card more. And the only reason is because I'm trying to hit the minimum spend on that card. So that's the only reason that I use that card. And looking at it now, when I was staying at Hyatt, I used my Hyatt card to book anything with Hyatt. I didn't have to pay any money or anything like that. But even when it came to like when they ask you for a credit card, just for incidentals or if you order room service and stuff like that, which I didn't do. I always use a Hyatt card because I can maximize my points. I get 9 points for every dollar spent on Hyatt property. So I use that card. Anytime I went to a restaurant, I would use the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but I had to catch myself because I sometimes I forget, like, okay, well, you know what? I have a card that I'm trying to hit a minimum spend on, so I need to use that card more. And so halfway through the trip, I realized, oh, you know what? I'm still trying to hit the minimum spend on this card. Let's use that card. So then I just started using the In Cash card for everything. So that's pretty much it. When I book my airfare, I always use the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And when I booked we had a rental car. So when we booked the rental car, my parents had it booked through the travel agent, but they changed it over to my name. So when I got there, because I was doing all the driving, so when I got there, I used that credit card in order to book everything, and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And the reason for that, you get the primary car insurance, so that's what I wanted, and so that's what I did. That's why I did that. That's why I wasn't going to use the In Cash card for that. Okay, so let's go back up to the top here and see if we have any other questions. And like I said, I'm working on like 3, 4 hours of sleep. I basically flew in. I flew from Kauai. My flight was in Kauai. It was from, in understand they're 3 hours ahead. So, or no, they're 3 hours back, not ahead. They're 3 hours back from California time, from Pacific Coast time, and then so it's 6 hours behind East Coast time. So I flew from Kauai to Maui, and that was at like 3 o'clock or something like that. I got in Maui about 3:50, and I was in Maui for like 4.5 hours. So I was up that whole time. I did a live stream while I was there at the airport. So if you didn't check that out, you might want to go back and it's just the video right prior to this and check that out. And then I got on a plane at around 8. Actually, we got on the plane a little late. It was like 9:10, 9:20ish, something like that. They had a real bad flight delay where they had to cancel a flight from the previous day. So you had people that had to go away. This is on United. They had to go away for the night. I guess they got them a room or something like that. So then they had to come back, and so they had to accommodate that flight. So they accommodated that flight right before ours. So it kind of set us back just a little bit. Some people, I think there was a family that they just stayed in the airport. They didn't go to a hotel room or anything like that because someone mentioned something to them, or maybe that person noticed that they'd been there all night and they had been there all night as well. But they hit them up. They're like, "Hey, you were here all night?" "Yeah, I was here 24 hours." So they were just waiting on a flight to get back to Los Angeles. So I didn't sleep. Basically, got on the plane, and I didn't sleep on the plane. I can never really sleep on a plane unless I don't want to sound bougie or anything, but unless I'm in business class or first class, it's really hard. Even in business class, first class, it's still a little hard to sleep because you're kind of moving around a lot. But yeah, I definitely didn't sleep. I just watched Netflix videos the whole time I was on the plane, and then got home about 6 in the morning, and I slept from like 6 until noon, and then got up, and I've been up ever since. So, all right, so I'm working on not a lot of sleep here. Okay, so you'll have to excuse me if I forget something or I'm just talking really strange. Okay, one other thing I want to promote right now, and if you guys are in here, like I said, please hit that like button so we can bring more people in. We're going to start having guests. Okay, so I know I've been promising this, and I've had Jason's been on for a couple of nights and did an excellent job, and I will have him on as many times as he wants to come on. I'm really trying to promote him to. I want him to do a YouTube video or YouTube channel. I think he has so much knowledge when it comes to Colombia, Medellin specifically. He's been there so many times. I think he would do a really good job of showcasing that city, and he's in the process. Like, he wants to buy some property out there. I'm also interested in buying property out there in Colombia as well. But he is like really, he's got the wheels in motion. So I told him, hey, get a YouTube channel, start that, show us the process of how to buy a condo out there, buy a house out there. I think a lot of people would be interested. I think Colombia right now is really getting a lot of positive press when it comes to people wanting to visit there and people vacationing there. They're seeing there's a lot of potential out there. So anyway, but in the future, I will be having more people on. I'll be having some people from Colombia that will come on and talk about people who are Colombian and live in Colombia and talk about the experience of going to Colombia. We're also going to focus on the travel credit card. So I've talked to a few YouTubers already, and they're on board, so we can bring them on. We'll have some Q&A where we can talk with them about their travel credit card experience and how they got started and how they use their points and how they improve their credit and all that good stuff. So I think you won't just be hearing from me, you're going to be hearing from other people. So I really want to get this going to where we have a real strong following of people in the travel credit card community as a whole, and doing it in a live stream way. That, as well as the videos that I'll be putting out. And I was just on vacation, so I have a lot of videos that I will be putting out that are more travel tips, travel guide stuff. So that'll be good as well. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, Dolly, what's going on? Hello, I totally pulled the trigger on the Aspire card today. If you want your temporary card number until your real card comes in, make sure you apply online. Okay, cool, cool. So Dolly's just talking about is it he or she? I can't see your little, it looks like a she. I can't see, you have a little profile thing, but I don't know what that is. So please let me know if it's a he or she. But so they just got that Aspire card, so that's good. And getting that number, the temporary number, that's good as well, because then you can get started right away hitting that minimum spend. When you apply for a credit card, a travel credit card, the day that you apply starts the clock. So if you get approved that day, it starts the clock. So don't think that, oh, I applied on January 10th, or I'll just say I applied on January 10th. So I have until the time where I get the card to actually start. When I activate the card, that's when it starts. No, it starts when you actually get approved for the card. And at least that's, in my experience, that's the way it's been. And I've called in a couple of times and asked them, hey, when did my account start? Just so I know I have that 3-month period, so I won't have any issues. And the last card that I got, that's pretty much what they told me. Okay, you applied on this day, you got approved on this day. This is your end date here. Okay. Moral of the story, Dolly saying, hey, if you apply for it, make sure you do it online. That way you can get that temporary number. You might be able to get a temporary number too if you go into, well, there's really nowhere to go into when it comes to the Amex card. But if it's a Chase card, you go into Chase, you might be able to get a temporary card or temporary number. Okay, so Brian's asking how the jet lag is treating me. I'm still a little messed up right now, to be honest with you. I'm pretty messed up. I go back to work tomorrow, so when I get back to work, then I'll really see how I am. But I haven't really had like a full night here, so I can't really, like I said, I slept for 4 hours. Now, is that going to mess up my sleep tonight? It probably will. So tomorrow, I'll really probably be feeling it. Okay. Pariah said Aspire, thumbs up. And Ron's just saying hello. What's going on, Ron? Or Don? Don is saying hello. What's going on, Don? And Bruce is saying nice to have you back. It's nice to be back. And I need to figure something out when it comes to travel, because I want to be able to travel and do live streams at the same time. So my phone seemed to work. I used my phone a couple of times at the airport and it worked. So maybe that's going to be the way that I deal with it, because setting up when I did my whole setup, it was horrendous. It didn't work at all. So knowing that, I'm probably going to, like I said, I need to figure something out. I know there's an alternative, and I saw it online, but it's just way too expensive. It's like $1,800 to get this little device that will allow you to pretty much live stream anywhere. Yeah, that's $1,800 is a lot. That's a lot of YouTube AdSense, YouTube money there. Let's see here. Okay. And thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Like, if you guys are in here, yeah, just at least give me a thumbs up. If you haven't said anything, you don't really want to talk, that's fine. I totally get it. I used to get on live streams, people doing live streams, and I didn't want to say anything. But just give me a little thumbs up symbol, just so I know you're there, and I can give you a shout out and say, hey, thanks for coming by or stopping by. And then if I see you in the future, like if I see you on a comment, I read all the comments. Okay, so every video that I put out, I read every comment. So at least I see, oh yeah, I remember they were on my live stream. So I can at least know that you're watching. So just, yeah, thumbs up, that's all you need to do. So like the video and then give me a little thumbs up symbol. That'd be great. Okay. And then David saying beautiful room. So like I was saying, yeah, they really hooked me up. And I'll take you through this process too, because I think this is kind of a good thing. I talked a little bit about it yesterday in the live stream that I did at the airport. But basically, I went in to Grand Hyatt, and my expectations at this point, I was a little frustrated because I'm an Explorers right now. They give you these little passes. They give you these club access passes. So if you're a globalist, so you have globalists, explorers, discoverers, and that's it, and then member. So if you are a globalist, you have access to a lounge at the hotel. So, and it's pretty much like an airport lounge. So you have that club access, and the club access, they have food in there, and they're not going to have a full-on meal, but they'll have like snacks and stuff like that. At breakfast time, they'll have like a continental breakfast style. They might have a couple of things that are warm, like warm food. And then they'll have like, if they don't have a club, if they don't have a club, like club access or club lounge at the hotel, then you automatically get the free breakfast. Okay, so I have 4 passes. I've never used any of them, and I've called several times. I never get to use them. So I called in this time. I tried to use it. Guess what? There are too many people. It was overbooked or whatever they were saying. They didn't have any space for me to get this to use this club pass. So very frustrated. I was very frustrated, and I was frustrated in for 2 reasons. One reason is when I was a globalist. I was a globalist for a whole year. I was staying at staying at the Hyatt properties. I stayed, I think, at least 35, 40 times that year. And I called in to get upgrades, suite upgrades. It's the same thing. Suite upgrades, they give you a number to call, and you can call to see if they have an available suite upgrade. So I was calling to see if they're available. Never got, or I got it once. So out of the 7 or 8 times that I called, one time did they give me a suite upgrade outright. So when I went and booked, I didn't have to like say anything at the counter. I was already booked with this room, this suite. So I was a little frustrated because I had used that for the whole year and only got it once. And so now using these club passes, it was the same thing. I'm using them. I'm not getting I'm not getting any positive results from it. So when I went to the front desk, when I was checking in, I just happened to mention it to the lady behind the counter. I just said, yeah, they told me when I called on the phone, the World of Hyatt, called the World of Hyatt program, they told me, well, you can try again at the front desk, which in my mind, I'm thinking, I know that that's not possible because the World of Hyatt program, you have to call them and they're the ones that okay it, not the front desk at the Hyatt. So I knew that was already not going to happen because in the past, when I was doing the suite upgrades, it was the same thing. And they told me the same thing. So sure enough, I just brought it up, and she was like, yeah, no, you do need to call the World of Hyatt in order to get that club. They have to okay it, and then we'll do something with it. And I just told her, and this is not in a bad way. It's not her fault, so I'm not like blaming her. But I was like, yeah, it's just really frustrating because I'm not able to use these passes. I have like 4 of them. They expire in February. I'm not able to use them. And she was just kind of like, yeah, that would suck. And so then a little more small talk, and then she got to the point where she's booking my room, and then she told me, okay, it looks like you have a standard room here. You use points to get it. And I said, are there any available? Do you have any available upgrades, like suite upgrades? And she was like, oh, you know what? Let me check. And so she's looking, and she checks, on the computer, and then she says, hey, you know what? Give me 1 minute. I need to go to the back. So she goes to the back. So already when she's going to the back, I'm thinking, hey, this is a good sign. She's found a room. She just needs to get it okayed. And so sure enough, she came back. Hey, you know what? I have a room. I think you'll really like it. And so she gave me that upgrade. And so I showed it on, like I said, I showed it on my Instagram and on the WhatsApp group. And I will post a link to the WhatsApp group. So if you guys want to join the WhatsApp group, it's a good place for you to get instant, because I'll go on live, not live. God, it's been a long couple of days. I'll go on and just post stuff on there that I won't post on YouTube, and I won't post on the Facebook group because it's so easy. It's like a text. So if I want to shoot a video, I just hit the video. It's kind of like Instagram, where you're going to shoot the video, and then it just uploads automatically. So I put that on there. So if you want to check out the hotel, kind of the full version of the hotel, you can check that out. And I put it on the Instagram as well. Instagram at Travel Explore Click. Okay, so let's see. So that was pretty much the experience. I was very nice, and you should always be nice when you're dealing with people. When you're trying to get something, just be nice. Even if you're frustrated, be nice to them. It's not their fault. They have nothing to do with it. And they do have some power where they can kind of push things your way and give you an upgrade here or do something for you. So it's always good to just be nice and express yourself. So explain yourself if you think you've been mistreated or something like that. Just let them know, or not even mistreated, but if there's something that's going on where you don't really agree with, you can always say it, but say it in a nice way. And in some cases, they'll try to help you out as much as they can, because I know the way I am. Like if I'm dealing with a customer, and they're being very polite but stern, or if they have like an issue or something like that, and they're presenting it in a way that's respectful, then I'm gonna try to go out of my way to help them. Now, if you're coming at me yelling and screaming, then yeah, I'm not going to do anything other than what I need to do for you, if that makes sense. Okay. And so Dolly's saying, "How did you find such a low-priced vacation?" Question mark. So, and Hawaii is expensive, okay? And like I said, the bulk of the money that I would have spent would have been hotel stays. So the fact that I had the timeshare for the 7 days, that helped out enormously, because you can, at bare minimum, look at $100 a night. That's bare minimum. So we're looking at $850 total. $700 for those 7 nights, in addition to the airfare. And that's what I would have been spending. But you can always look for Airbnbs and stuff like that to maybe make it a little bit more affordable. But the timeshare is what really helped me in this situation. And my advice when it comes to just travel and making it affordable is do your research. And if you have different little things that you can utilize, then use that. If you have family that lives in another country or lives in another state and you want to kind of lean on them just a little bit, do that. If you can find different travel destinations where it's affordable and you know that already, like South America and Colombia is very affordable. Costa Rica is not as affordable, but it is affordable. So you can look at different places like that. Portugal, very affordable. So you can go to some of these different areas and really make out well. And you just need to do some research. There are certain destinations, yes, they're going to be really expensive. Hawaii is very expensive. Some places in Europe, very expensive. So yeah, so all that, you just have to kind of do your research and then figure it out. And then it might be one of those situations where, let's say you go to Portugal and then you have a couple of nights in Portugal, or maybe use Portugal as kind of the majority of your trips there, but then you jump over to Spain for a few nights, or jump over to Paris for a few nights, or jump over, so you can kind of move around once you get over, overseas. Or if you go to Hawaii, you can spend a couple of days in Hawaii and then jump out and go out to some Thailand or some of the other countries over there. So, all right. Let's see. Let's say, David, I'm planning to visit Medellin, Colombia. What is your recommendation for accommodations, Airbnb, Hyatt, etc.? Okay, so James, depending on where you're going, if you are going to, let me switch over to our little side view so you guys can see what's going on with the chat. James, if you're planning to go to Cartagena, they do have a Hyatt Regency there. Excellent. I have not stayed there yet, but who stayed there? Nika stayed there. She gave some pretty good feedback about it. She really liked it. I was there when they were building it, and I've been there twice. I was there prior to them when it was still pretty much under construction. You couldn't even go in, and then I went after they had already built it, and it is a nice property, and it's attached to a mall. So they have a food court up there. You can go get food, so you don't have to just eat at the hotel. They also have condos that are built that they were selling. That's a part of this Hyatt Regency. So you have the Hyatt Regency, a mall, and then these condos, and it's really impressive. I think it's only 12,000 points to book a free night there. So it's a really reasonable too. And they do take free, like your free nights. So if you have free nights to give, which I have a couple to give, they do take those as well. So that's good. But that's the only Hyatt that they have in Colombia. They're building another one in Bogota. I don't think it's built yet. but they will be building another one in Bogota. Hopefully, they'll be building one in Medellin soon, but no word of that yet. So if it's Hyatt, that's the way you look. Now, me personally, I would go with the Airbnbs. They're very, very reasonable. You can get an apartment for 20, anywhere from $30 to $40 in Medellin. I didn't check in Cartagena because I stayed in a hotel. I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express, which is nice. It's a nice property in Cartagena. But so I didn't check the Airbnbs. They're probably pretty reasonable though there as well. Barranquilla, definitely they're very reasonable. They're even less than Medellin. So you can get something $19 to probably like $30. You can get something nice and I always want to go with like an apartment, full apartment. I don't want to do the rooms or anything like that. That's just not my style. So I would go with Airbnb. That's probably your best bet. But make sure if you're going to stay in Medellin, and you said you're visiting Medellin, so if you're going to stay in Medellin, make sure you get one of the apartment condos, and they have a lot of them that are they're specifically for Airbnbs now. So it's almost like a hotel when you go there. The last time I was in Medellin, I stayed in Laureles, and I stayed at the San Peter's Apartments, which is basically a hotel, the way you can look at it. You have a guard at the front desk. When you go in, you check in with they call it a guard, but it's just pretty much someone there. You check in with the person there. They speak English, so that's good. The whole apartment building is pretty much comprised of Americans or English speakers. They have two little restaurants. They have like kind of a sports bar, and then they have another little restaurant there. So if you want to eat something, you don't even have to leave the apartment to eat. And the rooms they're nice. So I have a couple of videos, but one where I do a walkthrough of my hotel or my apartment in Laureles in Medellin. Check that video out. You can get a lot of information on just what to expect. But definitely worth it. $29 a night. That's what I was paying when I stayed there. I would stay there again. When I go back, I'm gonna look and see if it's available. Like I said, they probably have 10 to 12 units there that are like all Airbnb. And when you go on, you can see because you can kind of see the layout. So you can see all these different apartments that are the same layout, so you know it's the same one, or it's the same building. Okay. So I hope that helps, James. If you have any other questions, you can always hit me offline. You can get on Instagram and just send me a personal message or something, and I can help you when it comes to that. Okay, Roman, Ink Cash. So what's going on, Roman? You have Ink Cash on here. I don't know. Let's see. Ink Cash card has Forex fee, though, I believe. I don't know. I don't know about that fee that you're talking about. I'd have to do some more research. I'm not paying any extra fees or anything. So I don't know what you're referring to there. Okay, let's keep on. Let's move on down. We're just going to call you Poppy, man. I don't know what all that means. Hi, David. I was in Kona last summer. I had a blast. Let me open this up. I'm not seeing the full thing here. Let's see. I had a blast. Oh, God. Hold on. Okay. I had a blast. I just paid off my Quicksilver credit card. Which credit card is the best for beginners as for traveling the U.S. and maybe Latin America? Thank you. Okay. So, Poppy. Bongo Poppy. All right. If you're for beginners, so let's start there. So if you want a beginner card, I would. You already have the Quicksilver, so I would look at getting that Venture card. I think that's a really good beginner card. There are a few different reasons why. The first reason, global entry. You can get global entry with that. You get the free $100 credit for global entry. You do say you're interested in going to South America, so having global entry would really help you out when it comes to that. So when you re-enter the country, basically you're going to fill out some information online, and they're going to charge you $100. And this is with the government, so you have to fill out the information, fill out an application, and then you'll have to set up an interview. So you have to go into one of the processing centers, and some of the processing centers are like the border patrol, like customs and border patrol. You have to go there, and then the interview is like 5 minutes, and it's like going to the DMV pretty much. You go there and you wait, and then you go up and they ask you a few different questions. They've already done a background on you, so they know if you have a criminal background and all that. So they kind of go over all that with you there. I shouldn't say they've done a background on you already, but then they just remind you if you do have a felony record and that kind of stuff that you might not qualify. They take your picture, and in a lot of cases, they will give you your number, your known traveler number at that point. Sometimes they'll email it to you a couple of days later, but that's pretty much the process. And then once you get that global entry, then they do take your fingerprints too, I believe. Yeah, they take your fingerprints. So once you get that global entry, when you go out to South America on your way back in, let's say you're flying in a Los Angeles airport, you fly in a Los Angeles airport, you go through a separate line, the global entry line, where they have kiosks. You use the kiosk, you put your passport down, your fingerprints down, you answer a few questions, like declaration questions, like 5 questions. It spits out a little ticket. It'll take your picture, spit out a little ticket, you take that ticket to the customs agent, and then you're done. It takes at most 5 minutes. I've been able to get through there in like 3 minutes because now I know how to do it. Like, I know the process, so I just go right in, don't ask any questions, put my little passport down, do all that, and I'm on my way. So that's nice. Now, with global entry, you also get TSA pre-check. So you want to travel within the U.S., it's perfect for that because you go through a separate line. You go through the TSA pre-check line. You don't have to take out your cameras. You don't have to take out your laptop. You don't have to take your shoes off. And the line is always shorter. I will be doing another video, and I did kind of a video the last time when I was in LAX. I think I put this out I put it out on the WhatsApp group, but I was just showing the line because LAX now, when you go to the Bradley International Terminal, which the only reason I went there is because I wanted to go to eat at P.F. Chang's. I didn't have to fly out of there, but they have like this catwalk where you can walk up and you can see down below, and you can see all of the screening. Not all of the screening, but you can see the screening area. And I was just showing people, hey, look, this is the TSA pre-check line, and this is the regular line. And it was crazy how many people were in this regular line. So that alone, I think, will get most people interested in, yeah, you know what, I'll pay that $100 just so I can do that. So Venture card, I think, is a good card. They now have transfer partners, so you can utilize that. So for travel, you can transfer your points that way. They also have that eraser feature where if you just want to book it and not have to think about using points, you can just book it and then they'll credit your account. So that's there as well, and it's easy. For a beginner, it's the easiest card to use. You get 2 points for every dollar spent on all purchases. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to think, oh, I can get 3 points for every dollar with this card or with this category, or 1 point for every dollar on this category. You don't have to think about any of that. You're getting 2 points across the board. So it makes it really easy. The other card that I would recommend is the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and that is kind of the standard. Most people who have travel credit cards have either had that. Most people have had the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. You start out that way. You get that card and then you move from there. But that's a good card as well. Now, the only problem with that card is you're going to probably want the Chase Sapphire Reserve at some point. So I would recommend getting that Venture card first, kind of working with that, get that global entry right away. That global entry is good for 5 years. So when I say global entry, it's global entry and TSA pre-check. So if you get the global entry, you pay the $100 to get the global entry, you're going to get both. If you just get TSA pre-check, they'll give you that credit. It's $85, but all you're going to get is TSA pre-check. I don't do that. Don't get the TSA pre-check. Get the global entry because you get both. So just that alone it's worth it with the Venture card. The Venture card's they're also going to waive that $95 annual fee for the first year. So it gives you an opportunity to get the card, kind of feel it out, see if this is something that you're interested in doing. At the very least, you're going to get global entry, so you'll have that for another 5 years. And then if you don't like the card for whatever reason, then you can make your decision after that year's up, because you still have that you don't have to pay anything on the card initially. So that's good. So just something to consider. Venture card, I think, is great. Now with this, with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, now they're $95 annual fee. It's not waived for the first year, so you do have to pay that up front. So that's another thing that might want to, that might kind of push you away from it. If you guys are in here right now and you haven't done so yet, please hit the like button so we can bring more people in. And please share this with your family and friends so we can have some more participation of people coming in. Okay, let's see. MG Tow, what's going on? I won't be able to get the Chase Sapphire Reserve or Chase Southwest until February 2020, but there are other cards I'm interested in getting before that. Is Chase Ecosystem worth holding out for until then? Okay, so I would say I don't fly Southwest, so I don't get the Southwest cards, so I can't really give you really any good information on that. Chase Sapphire Reserve, I don't know what cards you have right now, MG Tow. So if you have some cards that you want to like share with me right now, then maybe I can kind of guide you in the right direction. Basically, what I'm saying is you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve. It's a great card because you get the priority pass, and you get the restaurant credit now with the priority pass. Whereas, like if you have the Amex Platinum, they're going to be doing away with that restaurant credit. I think the restaurant credit is probably the best feature that that priority pass has. But you will have that lounge access, so that's good. You get the $300 credit, travel credit, so that's good with the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I think that card's worth waiting for, me personally. On the market right now, looking at all the cards that are out there, are there other cards that I would get instead of the Chase Sapphire Reserve? The answer is no. There are not any other cards that are out there right now that I would get instead of the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Now, in addition to, yes, Amex Platinum, Amex Gold, those cards I would get. But I still want to have that Chase Sapphire Reserve. So if that's the card that I'm looking at and I have a slot that will open up, I would save that slot for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. The Southwest card, like I said, I don't fly Southwest, so that card is not valuable to me. I would be totally fine with getting an Alaska airline card, or a JetBlue card. Those are airlines that I fly with. If I were you, at least leave one of those slots open for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And now we see what's going on with the Citi Prestige card. They're gutting that card, so that card is not even a viable contender anymore. So I would definitely want to get that Chase Sapphire Reserve. HD chilling, what's going on, buddy? He says, get an internet booster. I need to find out more information. Maybe we could talk about that, Hardy, later. Like I said, this is the first time I really kind of tried to do a live stream, and I'm telling you, man, I brought all of my gear. When I say all of my gear, like everything that I have that I use to do these live streams that I'm doing right now, I brought all that stuff with me. Some of the stuff it's not a lot. Like I use a Cam Link, it's a small little device, but still bringing all that stuff. I was even going to bring another external monitor. I'm glad I didn't do that. I have a small one it's like the size of a computer, like a 15-inch laptop. I was going to bring that. I'm glad I didn't. But when I shoot these live streams, I have two monitors going. So I have one monitor that has all my information about the live stream. I use I use additional software. I don't use what YouTube has. I have additional software that I use. It's Streamlabs OBS. So I use that, and then I have my other screen where if I want to pull up something so I can share things with you, I have that screen open so I can see that, and plus I can see the live feed coming from YouTube as well. So if there are any issues or anything like that, I can pull that up. So that being said, I had brought all this stuff. I was all ready to go. I turn it on, and it's just horrible. A horrible stream. So I need to figure something out because I will be traveling. That is going to happen, and I want to be able to live stream while I'm out there because there's a lot of things I want to share with you guys live when I'm there. Like that room would have been perfect for me to do a live stream of that room. And now that I think about it, well, the internet was bad in that room on my phone. I didn't try to use the hotel internet when I was there, but that would have been perfect for me to live stream that and show you guys. You guys could have asked questions. Hey, what's this? What's that? How does the toilet work? I don't know if you guys saw, but they had one of those special toilets. and I used it. It's different. Let's just say that. But one of those special toilets that has all the different little features where it will warm your seat. It has like it's got everything on it. All these little bells and whistles, and it squirts water, and yeah, you can imagine it's one of those high tech toilets that I'd never used before. But I used it. It was different. That's all I'm gonna say. It was different. Uh, yeah, I will say this: it was different, and it was better than a traditional toilet. But you have to get used to it because it wasn't something that I was used to. Okay, Brian, get some melatonin, helps recover from jet lag. Okay, cool. Yeah. Um, I have heard that before. I'm gonna play it by ear. I'm gonna see how I feel tomorrow. If I feel really bad tomorrow, then I will go get some melatonin. Actually, I could just go to my mom's house. She's got all those different herbal supplements and everything. So let's see, Andre and Andrea, what's going on? What's going on? My people from the WhatsApp group. So I'm gonna give him a little plug real quick. And Andre, if you're here right now, just hit the or put a link out there for your channel if you can, and I'll open it up so everyone can see it. So Andrea, they have a YouTube channel, and they just got started a couple months ago, doing really well. The channel's doing really well. And this brother lives in Colombia, lives in Cali, Colombia, with his girlfriend who is Colombian, and they just talk about their experience, their life experience, or their relationship experience, and it's a good channel because you get to see the kind of American side. It's not like the 90 Day Fiance thing. It's total opposite, where you have two people who are in love, they live together. He's learning the language, he's learning the culture in Colombia, and he's sharing that with everyone on YouTube. So it's a great channel to check out, and they will be a guest on my channel as well when I start doing more of the live streams. And I think I'm gonna leave Monday to my kind of where I reach out to people in different countries. I think I'm going to leave that for my Monday show, like today. Today I'm talking more about travel credit cards because I didn't do a travel credit cards one on Saturday. But Saturday is going to be the travel credit cards, and then Monday is going to be more where I reach out and we do some interviews with people from all over. So yeah, great channel. Really, really good work that he's doing. That I say he. I'm sorry, Andrea, that they are doing over there. They're doing a really good job with their channel. So check it out. He put out a couple of new videos. I think he might have put out a video yesterday or today. So check it out. Some really good information. Let's see. And he's saying, good to see you. Yeah, good to see you too, brother. James, thank you so much for the valuable information on Medellin. Yeah, James, anytime, man. Just like I said, I'm so passionate about Colombia and Medellin and just different places to travel to there. And being that you do want to go there, you hit me up. Like I said, hit me up offline if you want to, and I'll help you out in any way that I can. I'll tell you exactly the places that I stayed and some of the different attractions that you might want to visit. Plus, come back next Monday. We're gonna do something about Colombia. So I'll have a guest on, if not Saturday. I think we actually confirmed Saturday, where I'm going to be talking to a woman from Colombia. We tentatively we set up a live stream on Saturday. Now I'm going to try to see if I might do a marathon Saturday, so I might do that live stream plus do the travel credit card live stream because I still want to keep doing that every Saturday. So I might do one and then lead that one on to the travel credit card. So do like the Colombia one first, and then it'll lead into the travel credit card one. Okay, let's see. Andrea David, also long layovers let you visit the city you're in. Yeah, continue your destination. Yeah, that's true, Andre. And I'm saying Andre because I know Andre's back in the U.S. right now, so I'm thinking it's just him. I know Andrea has her own little profile on YouTube, so yeah, that is true. Like if you do a long layover, and this was a 4.5 hour layover, really not enough time for me to kind of get out and move around. I like if you do have like an 8 hour or 12 hour layover. When I was in China, and I chickened out, but when I was in China, I had an 8-hour layover. So I had plenty of time to leave and go out and at least go get some food or something and kind of tour the area. Maybe just get in a cab and just ride around China. One thing they do have in China now, you do need a visa to go to China, but they will give you like a temporary visa, like a 24-hour visa, where you can, if you do have a long layover, you can visit that area for 24 hours. But you just have to have a flight that's leaving 24 hours or less. So you have to have a flight that's leaving out. So I could have done it, but I kind of chickened out. I was like, I don't know. And then after what they did with my luggage when I was in China, I didn't want to go anywhere. Like once I went, because you had to go back through screening. So I had to go back through the screening. When I went back through the screening, I kid you not, everything, and I have a lot of camera equipment. When I say a lot, my whole bag, my whole carry-on, all camera equipment. And then I had 2 carry-ons. One carry-on's or actually one backpack, all camera equipment, and then my regular luggage, which I had some things in there that they took out as well. So everything in my backpack had to come out, everything. It took me 15 minutes to put everything back in the way that I wanted it because you had to kind of put it in a certain way. So after going through that twice, because I flew into China twice, I wasn't even thinking about leaving because that would have meant I left and I had to come back and I had to do it all over again. So I just stayed there. All right. Nice Airbnb apartments in Cali. Yeah, I did mention Cali. So Andrea, they're talking about Cali, $31 to $80. And they have some really nice ones in Cali as well. And so James, if you're interested in Cali, you might want to look at. I've never been to Cali, so I can't really like promote it. Andrea, they live in Cali, so they're trying to put Cali on the map with their YouTube channel. So if you want more information about Cali, you should definitely join their discussion over there, and you can get some Airbnbs there, $31 to $80. That's pretty good. Okay, thank you, David. No problem, Poppy. Thanks for the info on the venture card. That's Andrea. Yeah, that venture card is something good to consider. Definitely a card that now is, it's now a legitimate. Well, I shouldn't say. It's always been a legitimate card, but it's now legitimate when it comes to travel. I think because they have the travel partners, so now they have a little bit more. The card is a lot stronger. The program, Capital One program, is a lot stronger now with the travel partners. Okay, all right, guys. Any other questions? Go ahead and post them in the chat right now. And if you guys are in here and you haven't hit the like button, please do so. And like I said, I will be focusing a lot of my live streams now on interviews. I want to talk to other people who are doing the same thing that we're doing. And I've talked to a few people already. I need to start making a list because I haven't done that yet. Flashpoint Capital, what's going on, buddy? I missed your little what's up thing there. So what is going on, man? I appreciate you. Flashpoint Capital, he has a channel as well, so you want to check his channel out. Flashpoint Capital on YouTube. He talks about travel credit cards. He talks about credit cards in general. So another person. There are a lot of people right now that I'm starting to find on YouTube that are we're all talking about similar things when it comes to travel credit cards. I think there's a movement. I guess we could say that now. You had Ask Sebi and Credit Shifu. Those are probably the most popular people in the space right now on YouTube. And then when it comes to blogs, you have Boarding Area that has a variety of different vlogs that are all a part of Boarding Area. And then you have the Points Guy who has a blog that's very, very popular. So I think there's a movement of people we're all starting to realize, hey, travel credit cards, that's the way to go. And I woke up on my little nap that I was taking earlier, and I have a new little slogan that I'm gonna put out there, and I'll start putting it out on all my videos, but all the videos that are travel credit card related. But it's earn, redeem, travel, repeat. And it's based off. There's another one where it's like save, travel, whatever. It's like save for your travel and then repeat. It's kind of the same slogan, but it's not the earn and the redeem. So with travel credit cards, it allows you to earn points, and we can all earn points. We all spend money. We all go to restaurants. We all go to grocery stores. We all spend money on a variety of different things. So we can all earn points. As long as you do it the right way, as long as you do it responsibly, as long as you know how to use credit cards, you can really maximize the earning potential. So you earn those points so you don't have to save anymore. And that's the big thing. Like, I can save money, and that money that I'm saving, I'm not saving it for travel. I'm saving it just so I have, because it's nice to have an emergency fund, or it's nice just to have money that's saved. So that money, I could set that aside and not have to worry about using that for travel. Some people, every year they want to take one big trip, and so they're saving all year long and waiting for that big trip. For me now, I don't have to save. I can just earn by spending. So my normal spend, I'm earning points. When I earn those points, I redeem those points. I can redeem those points for travel. Okay? Travel to these destinations, and usually you're not spending that much money out of pocket, because the majority of it, just like I was talking about with the Kauai trip, the majority of that trip, because I was able to work things out, the majority of that trip was paid for. And out of pocket, $150, that's all I spent. Now, I understand we all don't have timeshares, or we all don't have different opportunities like that. That's totally understandable, but you're still going to save a lot of money on your trip because you're using points. And even if you do have to pay for a hotel room, maybe you can just book that hotel room. You don't have to worry about booking airfare. You don't have to worry about booking some of this other stuff. And you're just paying for the hotel, and then everything else is being taken care of with points. So earn, redeem, travel, repeat. And every 3 months, that's pretty much what I'm doing. That's pretty much what I'm doing. And if you even look at it, even go a step further, every 3 months, you get, let me just put it this way. In my past history, kind of the way that I've been working it, usually I'll get a card. You can have that 3 months, hit the minimum spend in 3 months, and then I start kind of looking. Once I hit the minimum spend, I get 50,000 points, you get whatever. Then I start looking at, okay, what are some other cards that are out there that I might be interested in getting? And then I might get a card if it's available, get that card. And so constantly, like every 3 months, I'm looking at getting another card. You don't want to do it too fast, though. You don't want to just get cards like every month, try to get a new card. That looks bad on your credit. But if you spread it out, and let's say you get 3 credit cards every year for the next 5 years, you're opening up that credit limit, so your credit limit's really expanding, so your credit utilization will be low. Hopefully it will be low, because you're paying this off every month, so you're never carrying a balance. So your credit utilization will be low, which is the highest thing that they look at, the credit bureaus. That's the highest category. It's 35%. Your credit utilization. That's what they're looking at. So it's credit utilization, and then late payments. You have late payments, that's going to hurt your credit the most. So credit utilization will hurt your credit 35%. 30% will be your credit, your late payments. So you want to make sure you take care of both of those. Now, so 3 credit cards every year, that's not unreasonable. So like every 3 months, 3 to 4 credit cards. Let's look at. I already have points, so I'm kind of just topping off the points that I already have. But now every 3 to 4 months, I can take a trip and not even have to really think about it, because I know I have the points there to do that. So earning, redeeming, travel, and then repeat. All right. So that's going to be my new slogan. All right. So I'm going to end the videos with that. Okay, let's see here. MG Tell, you got a couple more things here. What do you think about buying points on one ecosystem to stack points on top of previous bonus by meeting minimum spend on another ecosystem? Okay, so let me reread this to make sure I understand what you're saying. What do you think about buying points on one ecosystem to stack points on top of a previous bonus? Let's see. Bonus by meeting minimum spend on another ecosystem. Okay, so I think I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do that. Be careful though. I don't know exactly how they would respond to that, but you're basically just saying, and I guess in a nutshell, let's say you have a credit card with, uh, or not a credit card. Let's say you have an Advantage credit card, or you have points with the Advantage program, and so you have those points with the Advantage program, and you want to buy some additional points, and so you use a credit card that you want to try to hit a minimum spend with to buy more points. I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, you want to check the fine print on your credit card to make sure that that's appropriate and all that. I don't think it would be a problem, but you always need to understand if you're trying to do things like that, you don't want it to look like you're trying to do some shady stuff because then they will just take all your points away. But no, I can see that, and I'm in that situation. Like I have points. I have 18,000 points on my American Airlines Advantage program, which I never use because I'm kind of I've gotten away from American Express. Let's just say that, or American Express. I said American Express. American Airlines. I've gotten away from American Airlines, so I do have 18,000 points. I need to top that off, get it up to 25,000. So I have an opportunity right now. Yeah, go buy points. I think when I looked at it last, it was like $160 would give me enough to get up to 25,000. So what is it, 6,000, 7,000 points that I'll need, and then. And then I have a round trip ticket. So basically, that's what I was looking at: round trip ticket anywhere in the U.S. So yeah, that's. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that, and I think that's actually a good way to go about it. I never have any problems with my minimum spends though, and so it depends on your spending habits. But I'm usually easily able to spend $3,000, $4,000 in 3 months. $5,000 is kind of my. That's kind of my. That wasn't easy. I won't say it wasn't easy. I got up until like 2 weeks prior to that 3 month mark with that. So, yeah, that yeah, basically the 5,000 kind of that does hit me at the limit. I got a little distracted here because Ed James gave us a super chat. Thank you very much, Ed, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Okay, and then Andrea and Andrea, they put their link up there for Love Crossing Borders. So click on that link, go to their channel, join their channel. They have some really good information, and they're very good people and always willing to help. So if you are interested in going to Colombia, especially Cali, Colombia, hit them up. They'll be able to help you out and point you in the right direction. Okay, Ed James, thanks for another super chat. I appreciate that. Okay. Uh, so example above, using part of my Citi Premier minimum spend to add 40,000 bonus points that I got the B of A Spirit card. The B of A Spirit card, what is that? What do you think about this strategy? I think, like I said, I think it would work. I don't see any problems with it, but you do want to kind of check. You know, I'm not one of these credit card people. Like, I'm not one of the credit card companies, so they might frown upon that, especially if you're using one ecosystem to kind of boast another ecosystem. I don't know. You'll have to see. Now, one thing is you're only going to get 1 point for every dollar spent on that with most credit cards, so you're not going to get anything in addition. Let's see, because I don't know. Is it travel? It is travel. That's a good question. Like if like Chase Sapphire Reserve, I have 3 points for every dollar spent. If I bought points on the Advantage program, is that 3 points for every dollar spent? I don't know. It should be, right? Because it's travel. All right. Oh, with this strategy, you could keep, let's see, daisy chaining into new ecosystems and really stack up the points. Yeah, that's an interesting concept. Let me know, like if you've done it, if you're doing it right now, let me know if you're doing it right now. And if it's working for you, maybe it is something that we could do just at the very least, I could do a video on it, but maybe do a live stream on just kind of that concept. The only problem with putting stuff out there is credit card companies, once they get a hold of it, then they start wanting to, you know, make changes because they see, okay, yeah, you know what, we didn't think about this, and this is not good for us because people are, I mean, they're using our card, but they're getting points on another ecosystem. Yeah, yeah, I don't know, but no, I totally understand what you're saying there, MGTO. All right, any other questions, guys? Any other questions out there? Like I said, I am really where I don't even know. Like I want to stay up right now. I am tired, but I want to force myself to stay up until a regular time to go to bed, which it's 8:30, 8:32 right now. So if I can stay up until like 10, 11 o'clock and then go to sleep, then I think I'll be fine. But yeah, definitely don't want to. I don't want to go to bed too early, and then I'll be up all night. Okay, Andrea and Andrea, skiplag.com for extra long layovers if you have to stay. Yeah, yeah. So Skiplag, and I have not used them yet, but Skiplag is, if you go there, skiplag.com, you can find some pretty good deals. And what they do a lot of is fly. Let's say you're flying to Seattle, from Los Angeles to Seattle, but or the flight is from Los Angeles to Seattle, but you want a direct flight to Oregon or something like that. So, and I don't know, I would have to get more involved in the whole skip lag because I don't really use it. I just use points when I travel. But you can have a layover somewhere, and what they do is they fly to that layover destination. Like, let's say you want to go to San Francisco, or San Francisco is probably not a good. Let's say you want to go to Oregon. There's a layover in Oregon, and so you go to Oregon, and then you just miss that flight to Seattle because you didn't want to go to Seattle anyway. But the ticket was cheaper for you to fly to Seattle because let's say Seattle is a hub for Alaska Airlines. So they're going to stop in Oregon, but they're going to end up in Seattle. There are more flights out to Seattle, so it's just a more reasonable flight. You'll be surprised when you go on like Google Flights. Google Flights is a good place to go, and you'll see like some of these different flights for whatever reason. It's a lot further to fly there, but it's cheaper than flying to some of these other areas that are a lot shorter destinations. And that's just the way it is because the way they have everything set up, it's more valuable to them for a closer destination for whatever reason. There might not be a hub there, what have you. So what they'll do is they'll have these layovers in different places. You can just skip out on that last flight. It's not recommended. Airlines hate it. They want you to fly the full flight, but you can fly to one place, fly to Oregon, and then don't even take that next flight, and then you skip lag to fly back to wherever you're coming from, Los Angeles or what have you. So it is a way to look at it. Let's see. Be careful with skip lag. The carriers can cancel your points if you link it, if you like it, link it, like it, link it. I don't know what you're saying, Brian. I think link it. Points if you link it. Okay. Ed James at TC, can you give advice on packing clothes for a trip to Colombia for a week? What kind of clothes? How convenient is it to find a washing machine dryer? Thank you. Okay, so Ed James, good question there. And I did see, let's see, Aquaman Love. Thanks for stopping by. I did see the greetings there. I missed that. The super chats kind of got my eye. I'm sorry. So I see you there. I see you there, brother. All right. So clothes, packing clothes, and what to wear in Colombia. That's a very good question, Ed. Unless you are on a coastal destination, Cartagena, Barranquilla, Santa Marta, try not to wear shorts. Okay, Colombians. That's one of the biggest things that they see. Like Americans, we wear shorts and flip flops, and so you try not to wear shorts if you can, and don't wear flip flops. Don't wear sandals at all. Shorts. In most cases, you want to kind of shy away from them, but you can get away with it if you're on a coastal. If you're in Cartagena, you can get away with shorts. I wore shorts when I was out there. It's not that big of a deal. But if you're in Medellin and Bogota, you're not going to want to wear shorts because it's cold there. Medellin, you don't want to wear shorts. So wear pants. So you're going to need to pack jeans, pack slacks, button-up shirts usually. T-shirts, people wear T-shirts from time to time, but they usually wear like a kind of a button-up shirt. So you want to dress a little nicer than we dress out in the U.S. For like everyday stuff. Women there, they really dress up. Like just to go to the store, they're gonna dress up. They're gonna put makeup on. They're gonna have nice clothes, almost like they're going to a club. They're gonna be nicely dressed anytime they leave the house. Whereas like in the U.S., yeah, you will see, and we all know, like we see the stuff on Walmart. The Walmart, they have like blogs that's all they talk about, like what people are wearing at Walmart. But you see people in the U.S. wearing pajamas and stuff like that, slippers and all that to a store. They don't do that in Colombia. So women will dress up, and so you want to have some clothes that are nice. You don't want to wear anything that's like shorts and stuff like that. Some clubs, even in the U.S., like some clubs you can't go into if you're wearing shorts. So same applies there in Colombia. Now, packing, the way that I do it is I pack for 5 to 6 days, and I have a carry-on. I use a carry-on. I don't check my luggage. Very rarely will I ever check my luggage. The only time that I'll do it is if I need to bring extra camera equipment. So my last trip when I was in when I went to Carnival, I wanted to bring extra camera equipment. So that situation I check my luggage. But in most cases, I'll just bring my carry-on. And so I'll pack 5 to 6 days. If I'm staying there 10 days, that's fine. I'll stay in an Airbnb. Usually if I'm going to Colombia, I very rarely will stay in a hotel. And so if I'm staying in an Airbnb, they have washer. I usually make sure that it has a washer dryer there so I can use a washer dryer. So that's how I do that. And it just allows you to pack a lot lighter. And I think that was all of your questions. See, close for a trip for a week. Yeah, so if you're going for a week, then yeah, you'll be fine. And I can do a week with a carry-on and not have to wash any clothes. So like 7 days, I can do that. When it goes to 10 days, usually I'm gonna need, yeah, I'm gonna need to wash my clothes. So yeah, it depends on how you pack. I use packing cubes. So if you don't know what those are, if you get on Amazon, make sure you get the nicer brand though. Like they have some really cheap ones out there. So you want to get something that's, and you'll see like the zippers it's more hefty. Usually the ones that have a little handle on them, those are the better ones to get. And so a packing cube, all it is it's just a cube, and you pack all your clothes in there. So I roll all my clothes, I roll them in this packing cube, and usually I'll have 2 packing cubes in my carry-on. So one packing cube will be like my pants and my shirts, and then the other packing cube will be my underwear, my t-shirts, and all that, my socks and all that. So the beauty of packing cubes is once you get to your destination, unpacking is just taking out those 2 packing cubes. That's what I do. I just take out the 2 because I don't iron anything. I don't hang up anything until I'm ready to wear it. So I take the 2 packing cubes out, put them in the drawers, put my luggage away wherever in the closet, and I'm unpacked. And everything is the way I need. So when I need to get to my clothes, I just open up the little packing cube. I pull out the clothes that I want to wear for that day. I iron those clothes, and then I put them on, and I'm ready to go. So that's how I do that. And then I usually bring like a laundry bag with me, just a little laundry bag, so I can put all my dirty clothes in that. And then I'll wash my clothes, and then I'll pack them back up in the packing cube, and then I'm on my way back home. So that's how I do that. And as far as like laundry services and stuff like that, I haven't really looked. I know they're there, but I haven't really looked. I haven't really priced them, so I don't know how much they charge. But it is so easy to get an Airbnb with a washer dryer in Colombia, so that's not going to be a problem as long as it's more modern. Now, if you're staying in some of the smaller cities in Colombia, they might not have a dryer. You might have a washer. You might have to wash your clothes by hand. I mean, you can always resort to that, right? You can always wash clothes by your hand and just hang them if you really need to do that. Okay, Aquaman Love, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. And let's see, how much is American Express points equivalent to dollars? I have 38,000 on my gold. Okay, so usually we always kind of look at the base value, okay? So base value is always, look at it this way. If it's 38,000, it's $380. If it's 50,000, it's $500. So that's the way that you look at it. So what is that? 1 cent per point is basically what we're saying. That is the absolute worst value that that's a worst value when it comes down to. You should be able to get more value than that. And the reason that I say that is when people say, well, yeah, how many points, how much is it worth? $380. Well, you know what? 38,000 points can go a lot further than $380 if you're using it for travel, because you can transfer to your travel partners. For example, 38,000 that 38,000 points will get you a round trip ticket anywhere in the U.S. And with a couple more thousand, or even if you work it right, you can fly to Hawaii, you can fly to Alaska. So I say anywhere in the U.S. With the exception of Hawaii and Alaska. But if you work it right and you get on awardhacker.com, you can find some sweet spots, and you can use that 38,000 to fly. So if you think about that, $380, you can't fly anywhere in the U.S. for $380. Like you can't fly from Los Angeles to New York. $380 unless you get a really good deal. And if you fly in places like Colombia, I know for a fact I can fly business class to Colombia for 35,000 one way. So I know that for a fact. $380 is not going to get me a business class seat to Colombia. So you can get a lot more value out of it. So when I say worst case, that is the worst value that you can get. Is $380. So you should be able to get at least $380, but you can get a lot more if you work it the right way. That's what makes travel credit cards so powerful. And that's why when people start pushing out there, oh yeah, these cashback cards are great. I like the cashback. They're good because you're getting something back. But if you can transfer those, like if you have a Chase Freedom card or Chase Freedom Unlimited, and you can transfer that up to like a Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Sapphire Reserve, and that Ultimate Rewards program, and use those points for travel, you'd be amazed at how much value you can get out of that. A good example, and I know I got lucky, but even if I didn't get lucky with this last stay the Grand Hyatt, that room was going for 500 plus. It's like $530 a night. That's what it was going for. The same room that I booked for 25,000 points. 25,000 points, $250. That's the worst value you can get out of it, right? So for $250, I'm getting twice the value, right? I'm getting a $500 room for 25,000. And in addition to that, I was able to get lucky and get a suite upgrade. And now they put me in a room that's $1,800 a night. So now I'm going from 25,000 points, equivalent to $250, to a room that's $1,800, right? And I didn't do anything special to get that. I think booking with points helps a lot because they already know, like if you're booking with points, they know that and I'm booking with points and I'm a World of Hyatt member, right? And Explorers. So they know that I've made a commitment with Hyatt. So it doesn't hurt them that much to say, the room is open. It's going to be open for the night, right? It doesn't hurt them that much to say, hey, let's give him this room. He's already showed some loyalty. If we give him this room, he's probably going to show us even more loyalty. So it doesn't hurt them that much to do that. And so that's why it's good to be loyal to a hotel chain, to an airline company, airline brand. It's good to be loyal because it can help you out in situations like that where they see, oh, he's using 25,000 points. That means in their mind, I'm getting those points because I'm staying at a lot of different Hyatt properties, right? That's in their mind. They're thinking, okay, he's either using a credit card, he has these points for some reason. And in this case, I did have the points from my World of Hyatt credit card, but they know there's a commitment there, so that's why they're more apt to. Even if I didn't have I don't have top status, but even if I didn't have Explorer status, they're still going to favor me as opposed to favoring someone who's using a travel agent and they book everything and they just kind of show up and they don't have any membership, or they're not a member of the World of Hyatt or anything like that. So yeah, $380, the worst value, but that's kind of the barometer. That's where we start. You should never get less than that. If they're ever offering you less than that, then yeah, that's that's not a good deal. Julio, what's going on, buddy? And I see you answered his question there, so thank you for that. Let's see, Ed. Thank you. I read an article about packing cubes for luggage. Do you use them or you recommend them? Yeah, so I think I just explained, yeah, I recommend them. I think they're great. And if you have like checked luggage, this is another kind of a hack, I guess you can, it's not really a hack, but another option that you have. If you use these packing cubes, let's say you know you're going to be close to that 50 pounds or whatever the weight is that they tell you. You have packing cubes, and all your clothes are in these packing cubes, and you get the ones that are a little sturdier that have handles. You can always, and you see these people at the airport. I just saw this on my last trip, where they're off on the side, and they're like rearranging their luggage to try to to meet that weight. Well, if you have packing cubes and you have checked luggage, all you need to do, take out a cube, and that cube now becomes your personal item, because usually when people go to the airport and you're checking your luggage, in most cases, some people, they pack a lot. I mean, I've never done this, but I do see people with a carry-on suitcase, a backpack, and check luggage. Uh, it should never get that bad, but some people, they want to pack everything. So, but let's just say you're in the situation where you have your backpack and then you have a checked luggage. You take your checked luggage there and they say, oh, it's overweight. And you say, oh, what am I going to do? You pull out one of those packing cubes, and usually, I mean, you can pack, that packing cube's like 10, 15 pounds. Like you can fit a lot in there. At least the big one with your clothes, with your pants and your shirts and all that stuff. So if you get to that point where you have that packing cube and you're overweight, just take out a packing cube. It has handles on it, so guess what? That becomes your personal item, and then you have your backpack, and then you just go on to the terminal like that. So just something to think about. And if you are one of those people who pack the backpack, the carry-on luggage, and the check luggage, and your check luggage is still overweight, take out one of the packing cubes, go ahead and check your luggage. You have your carry-on. So now you have a carry-on. Now you have a personal item, a carry-on, and a backpack. So they're not gonna let you go in with all that. You just go to the gate. You check your carry-on luggage at the gate. You don't have to pay anything extra for that, because you're already gonna have to go get your check luggage anyway. So you might as well check. You have to go to baggage claim anyway. So you might as well check your luggage. So you do that, and then now you have your packing cube and your backpack, and everything else is checked. So you can go that route. All right. Let's see. My text is blowing up, so I just want to check it real quick to make sure the world isn't coming to an end here. All right. Looks like everything is okay. Any other questions, guys? Just please put them in the chat. I know there's a couple more, so I will go over them, and we'll address those questions. Okay. Let's see. So I hope I answered your question, Ed. If you have any other questions, just please feel free to check or to put in there. Flashpoint posts your links so you can sub and follow. Yeah. Flashpoint, if you're still in here, post a link to your channel. I will have Flashpoint on here, so we'll be doing an interview with him as well. So if you guys don't catch him then, you'll catch him. If you don't catch him now, you'll be able to catch him then. But he's just starting out. He's got a real good channel when it comes to credit cards and stuff. All right, let's see. Aquaman Love, yes, I am thinking for travel. Looking into Columbia. Make sure you put an O there, man. No U. It's not Columbia like the university. Or Columbia, was it South Carolina, North Carolina? Yeah, it's not that Columbia. It's Columbia with an O. All right, so let's see. Columbia trip. Got to get out of the Matrix things. Yeah, get out of that Matrix. It's nice to get away, man. It really is. And you'll see a whole different side of, and this is traveling anywhere. I mean, it's, you get to just see how people live in different countries. And one of the things that I really like about Colombia is, and not just Colombia, but before I started traveling, I used to think, and I still think, America is a great country to live in, and we have a lot of things in America that um, that that's great. Okay, and I used to always think that you couldn't be happy if you didn't live in the U.S. I'm being honest when I say this. I used to just think that like we're the greatest country, so obviously everyone wants to come here, and that's not true. But that's just the way you think. Like everyone wants to come here. You can't be happy if you're not here. You need money to be happy because that's what you think. Like the whole American dream is like to own a house and to own this and to own that and to be have all this money and I won't say that's the only American dream, but that's one of the American dreams is you have an opportunity to get out there and make money and do all that and in essence be happy because some people equate money to happiness, which I I don't, but some people do. But then when you start traveling these other countries, you start seeing people who literally have nothing. Like they're very, very poor, but they're happy and they're living life and they're enjoying life. And so that's one of the real things that real big takeaways. And Colombia is one of those places where you can go and you can see people and talk with people who don't have very much money, but they're very happy and they're enjoying life and they're partying and they're doing all this stuff that we do in the U.S. They're not lacking anything. So, man, all right, my nose is all stopped up right now. I think I probably got a little sick on the plane. I got to talk about this. This is off topic, but I got to talk about it. So this is the first time this has happened, and this is going to be kind of funny, but the way I explain it. So we're on the plane for 5 hours. There is a baby so I'm sitting window seat, I'm in 12A. So I'm sitting in that window seat. So I have a person next to me, and there are two people next to me, and then you have the aisle. And across the aisle, there's a baby, newborn baby, not newborn, maybe less than a year old. And then there's a couple, and then they have another child that's probably 3 or 4 years old. So I don't know if this baby had a dirty diaper or what, but I would say an hour into that trip that it was not, we were getting this smell of of something dirty. Dirty diaper, or someone was just passing gas, or what. But and it wasn't like it would come and then it would go and then it would come and it would go, and for the next 4 hours it just kept back and forth. And I'm thinking, well, if the baby had dirty diaper, wouldn't the mom or the dad, because both mom and dad were there, wouldn't they take the baby in the restroom and change the baby? And so I'm blaming it on the baby. I don't know if it was a baby. It could have been someone around me, but I don't know if you've ever had that experience before. But it was just horrible. And it just kept coming back. And I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking, what is going on? Somebody needs to go to the restroom. Or if it's the baby, they need to take the baby to the restroom and change the diaper or what have you. But it was a very, just an uncomfortable. I mean, you can't do anything, right? You're sitting there. You can't leave. You can't get any fresh air because the little vents that they have now. I don't know what's up with these vents, but I flew on United on the way back, and they have a little thing where you can open it up, so it's supposed to give you air, but there was very little air coming out of that thing. So I struggled the whole time. Like I was getting sick to my stomach because I just kept getting this whiff of yeah. All right, so never had that experience before. Let me know if you guys have had that experience, but it was yeah. I didn't know how to deal with that. And I'm like looking around thinking, and like the people sitting next to me, I know it wasn't them, but yeah, and we're all kind of looking around like thinking, where is that coming from? And it was funny because at the very end, because the lights are all out when you're flying, and this is an overnight flight, so it's a red eye. But once we once you land and then you're coming into your terminal or to your gate, then they turn on all the lights, and then that's when you can kind of see people kind of looking around because we could still smell it then. you see people kind of looking around like, where is that coming from? And the only plausible, like the only thing that I could think of is it's the baby. But why not change the diaper? I don't know. Maybe you don't have another diaper to change. I don't know. And I don't have a kid, and I've never taken a baby on I've never been with someone who has a baby on a plane. So I don't know all the, I don't know. I don't know how that all works. But all I know is something was not smelling right on that plane. And Aquaman Love says mask up. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I'll probably have to consider bringing on my next flight. Like maybe some Vicks Vapor Rub and a mask. And just put that on. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Let's see. Okay, so Aquaman Love is saying he's going to check out Andre's videos. Yeah, do that. Andre and Andrea, man, they got some good stuff. Definitely check them out. Okay. Okay, Object, what's going on? I don't know what you're talking about. If you have questions, legitimate questions, put them out there. But if not, then keep it all to yourself. If not, then I'm just gonna block you. Let's see. Oh, I guess you're responding. Maybe I shouldn't jump on you, Object. I guess you're responding to what I'm saying. But I don't know if it was that. I'm telling you, I think it was a baby. But if not, I don't know like where that would be coming from. Like it didn't make any sense to me. And like someone to have, let's say you have gas for 4 hours, and like every 20 minutes or so it comes out. Like I don't know. It was crazy. With an airline, is it better to buy airline points or wait for a low price ticket? So that's Andre and Andrea asking that. Buying points is not really, you're not saving. You really aren't. You should only really buy points if you want to top off the points that you already have, because they'll put it out. So let me give you an example, and we'll use American Airlines again. So you have American Airlines, you're on the Advantage program. So the Advantage program is their membership. So like signing up for membership is free. You don't have to pay anything to sign up for membership. You don't have to have a credit card or anything like that. But you become a frequent flyer, like you sign up for the frequent flyer program. That way, anytime you fly and you book your airfare with them, you're going to get some points for flying with them. Points towards your elite status, as well as just points that you can redeem for future flights. Now, on the Advantage program, I can go there and I can buy points. So if I want to buy points, let's say I need 10,000 points in order to fly. I have 15,000 points already. I want to fly somewhere in the U.S. I need 25,000 points, and so I buy 10,000 points. You're not going to get a good value on buying those points. Those points are good if you want to just top it off. Like I was saying, if I want to buy 7,000 points and it's $160, so I'm topping off that. I have 18,000, so I'm going to top it off. I'll get to 25,000, and now I can book a trip anywhere in the U.S. And so I spend $160 because I'm probably going to save. If that flight's like $500 to fly from Los Angeles to New York, now I'm saving a little bit of money by just topping it off, as opposed to just paying that $500. So that's where you want to do it. But just buying points outright, you're not really going to save when it comes to that. So it's better, in that case, it's better just to look for a low price. Unless you're trying to do something like over time, you're going to buy points over time and you wait. And sometimes they'll have like these 2-for-1s, or they'll have like an offer where you can jump in, you can buy points at a lower rate, or you get bonus points for buying points. You can try to do that. If you want to fly like a business class seat, then that's when you really get the value out of it. But just flying regular economy, you're not really going to make out too well just buying points. All right. Yeah, so HD chilling saying all you can do is when you're on a plane is just sit and bear, and that goes for everything, right? If you have an annoying neighbor, or you have a crying baby, or if you have, and this baby was great, like as far as noise, and I don't know if it was the baby, so I won't blame the baby, but the baby was great because when we first got seated, I'm thinking 5 hours, this baby's gonna be going off. But the baby was quiet the whole time. The baby pretty much slept the whole time. And maybe that was it too. Baby sleeping, dirty diaper, but the baby sleeping. Do I wake the baby up, change the diaper, and then have the baby crying all night or the rest of the night? Or do I just let the baby sleep and then change the diaper when I get there? That could have been something else. Like I said, I don't have a child, so and I've never been on a plane with with someone who has a child, so maybe that's one of the strategies. Because it didn't happen. I would say it was probably an hour and a half into the flight when it happened, when I smelled it the first time, and then after that. So, and at that time, the baby was quiet. I didn't hear anything. So maybe the baby was sleeping, and they didn't want to wake the baby up to change the diaper because then the baby would have been grumpy, just like anyone would be grumpy if you wake them up. Okay. Julio, what's going on? Looking forward to my flight to Vancouver, visit Centurion Lounge, Houston, then Salt Lake City, Delta Lounge, and then Seattle Centurion Lounge. Okay, so you're going to be doing a lot of lounge visits. That's great. That's great, Julio. One of the benefits of Amex Platinum is you have that Centurion Lounge, so that's really good. And like I said, the lounge access, if you can get to the point where you can get one of these cards, Chase Sapphire Preferred or Chase Sapphire Reserve, Amex Platinum, Citi Prestige. If you're still interested in getting that card, you can get that lounge access, and that really helps. It helps because your whole travel experience will change. When I say travel experience, I'm talking about the actual travel. I'm not talking about the vacation. Once you get to your destination, I'm talking about the process of getting to your destination. It will change. I'm telling you. Even if you go to a mediocre lounge, you're still going to have a better experience because you can kind of go in there and you can relax, and it's quiet. And there are not a lot of little kids running around. And they even block off a lot of the noise that's coming from the regular terminal, where you're hearing all these repeated warnings and all that stuff going on, and they block out a lot of that as well. So it's just a nice, calmer place to be. And in some of these lounges, I'm telling you, they have a lot of stuff. You can take a shower. Some of them even have like massage services. Usually they'll have some type of food there, so they'll have snacks and stuff like that. Some of them will have a full-on meal, so you can go in there and eat. With the Priority Pass now with Chase Sapphire Reserve and the Citi Prestige, you have the credit. American Express Platinum, you still have the restaurant credit, but they will be doing away with it in August. But the other ones, they have the restaurant credits. You can go to restaurants. I just went to P.F. Chang's, got $30 worth of food, which was enough for 2 meals for me. Like I got two entrees, and you know how it is. You go to P.F. Chang's. I don't know if you've never been to P.F. Chang's, but you kind of order an entree and you kind of share it. So you can order, okay, I want orange chicken and I want fried rice, and then you just kind of mix and match like that. Just like most Chinese restaurants you go to, you can kind of mix and match like that. So I did that at P.F. Chang's, and I got two meals, mixed them up, ate some orange chicken, fried rice, packed some orange chicken and fried rice, and had it for my flight. It wasn't the same flight; it was a different flight. But it allowed me to have 2 meals for free. Didn't have to pay anything. And you know how crazy it is in there. I was at Maui Airport and I had to get something to eat because my whole thing is I'm thinking I need something to eat for my flight. They weren't offering a meal. You had to buy it on the plane, so they weren't giving you any free meal or anything like that. So my whole thing was I needed to get some food. So usually I'll go to a lounge. Maui, they didn't have a lounge that I had access to. No Priority Pass lounge, no Priority Pass restaurants. And they didn't have any United Club lounges there as well. So I didn't have any options. So I had to buy my old normal routine where I used to go to one of the gift shops and buy a sandwich and all that. So I did that. Went to the gift shop, or not a gift shop. I went to the little food court they had, bought a sandwich and chips and a drink, and it came to like $16. So I'm paying $16 for that, where you can go and sit down and have a meal at a nice restaurant, and it's $30 credit. So real good benefit there. So yeah, moral of the story: get one of those cards where you can use the lounge access and use that lounge as much as you possibly can. Is Brazil on your radar? It is, but this is the thing. I'm really focusing on learning Spanish right now, and that's why I like going to South America because I can practice my Spanish, and that's kind of my focus right now. Going to Brazil, I do want to go to Brazil, but I gotta learn Portuguese, and you want to know like the way I am. I I know I like Brazil, but I like it even better if I know how to speak Portuguese, or at least know how to speak some Portuguese. I know my experience in Colombia and my experience in South America has been South and Central America has been that much more enhanced the more that I know. So the more Spanish that I learn, the better off my experience has been. Or like every time I go back, I'll put it this way: every time I go back, my experience is better because I know a little bit more about know a little more Spanish. So kind of focus on that. But yeah, Brazil is on my radar. I do want to do Carnival in Brazil because that would be amazing. I'm hoping. I don't think this year. I think they kind of run around the same time. I do want to go back to Barranquilla, to Colombia for Carnival next year, and in the future I do want to go to Brazil. But mainly I'm going to Barranquilla because I want to start doing some more photography stuff there. And when I say doing photography stuff, like I go and take pictures now, but I want to start bringing groups to Carnival in Colombia to take pictures. So I'm kind of working on that right now. Okay. Hey, what's going on, Brian? So B Dot, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. Hey, bro, welcome back. How was your trip? I'm just passing through. The trip was great, man. I had a good time. I didn't talk about kind of so I talked a little bit about, was in Honolulu for 2 days, really a day and a half. I went to the Polynesian Cultural Center, and then we went to Kauai. When we got to Kauai, even in Honolulu, it rained a little bit. When we got to Kauai, it rained for like 6 days straight. So we didn't really do much as far as we're right on the water, and I shot. There was the first day that we got there, it rained a little bit right after. So we got there and it rained that night, and then the next morning it was clear until about midday, and then midday it started raining, and then from that point it just rained the rest of the time or it rained like 6 days, and then the day that my parents left, which was Saturday, it was a pretty good day. It rained a little bit, but we had some sun for the majority of the day, and then of course the next day, the day that I left, Sunday, it was a beautiful day. I won't say all day because I left at 4, but it was a beautiful day until I left. Like the best day that I experienced the whole time that I was there. The good thing about it is I've been to Kauai 4 times, so I've already done a lot of things I wanted to do. One of the things that I did want to do that I wasn't able to do was I wasn't able to take as many pictures as I wanted to, so I didn't take very many because it was raining. It was raining all day, so I wasn't able to really take the pictures I wanted to. And I was going to go on a photo tour. I didn't go on the photo tour because it rained, so they had to cancel it twice, and then they offered it Saturday, but I couldn't do it Saturday because I had to take my parents to the airport and everything. So, but all in all, I mean, it was a good time away. I was able to relax and just kind of just enjoy Hawaii, even though it was raining, you're still enjoying Hawaii. And one of the things, and I said this yesterday in my live stream, one of the things I really like about Hawaii, and this has just been my experience. Like I've traveled to some of the different states in the U.S., but Hawaii is the closest, in my opinion, the closest place to go to kind of to make you feel like you're in a different country because the culture is different. The Polynesian culture is different. You're learning about these different, like Samoa in New Zealand. You're learning about all these different cultures in Hawaii. And so it makes it like it's a whole different experience than if I were to go to Nevada or if I were to go to New York or if I was to go to Washington, D.C. I mean, it's all kind of the same. But then you go to Hawaii and they have their own language, and then they have a whole different culture. So you get to learn. It's like being in another country, but you're not in another country. You're still in the U.S. Okay. And John Campbell, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Is English widely spoken in Colombia? No, it is not. It is not. God. And if Andre and Andre are on here right now, maybe they could chime in on this, but it's very rare that you'll find someone that speaks English fluently. It's very rare to find someone that speaks fluently. But even to speak a little English, and a lot of them will tell you they don't speak English, but they might know a little bit just because they're either embarrassed to say it or embarrassed to speak English, or they just don't want to talk to you. I don't know. But what I do, like my new kind of role, especially if I'm like approaching a beautiful woman and I want to talk to her, I just speak English. And if she responds, then I know she speaks English, right? Or at least she understands English. But if she doesn't respond, then I'll go to the Spanish that I know. But I like to go with English because I want her to know that I'm American, or know that I'm exotic, that I come from another country, because I'm black and you have a lot of black Colombians. So she might think I'm just Colombian. And so I come with them, I come at them with English. And a lot of the younger people in Colombia, especially people who've gone to college, they do speak English. They do speak at least some English. And then you'll have people who have they're in the tourist market, or they work in tourism and stuff like that, so they speak English because of that. You'll have people who have traveled to the States, and so they speak English because they've been to the States and they might have lived here for a period of time and then gone back to Colombia. But the vast majority, you're not going to find a lot of people who speak English. So you do need to know some Spanish, and it will help you. It would definitely help you. But like I said, I still go with them with English. And then they're like, oh, just like if I was in the U.S. and someone came up to me and they're speaking another language, and I know Spanish, I shouldn't say it. I don't know Spanish, but I know when I hear Spanish, right? So I might not understand all the words that you're saying, but I do know that you're speaking Spanish. Whereas if someone came up to me and they're speaking, like a good example, on the plane, the two ladies that were sitting next to me, they were speaking another language. I couldn't figure out what it was. And I could have asked, I should have asked, but I couldn't figure out what it was. And so automatically, I'm intrigued. I'm like, what are they speaking? Like, what language are they speaking? So it's the same thing when you're in another country and you come at them with English, and they might know it's English, but now they know, okay, yeah, they're American. They're not Colombian or what have you. So, and it also helps. It helps. They want to help you more. Like, if I had someone come up to me on the street and they're speaking perfect English and they're asking me directions, yeah, I'm going to give them directions. But if someone comes up to me and they're speaking in another language, especially if I'm not even familiar with that language, and they're asking me, and they're trying to ask me how to get somewhere, and I say I don't understand what they're saying, and then they speak in English and they're asking me how to get somewhere, I'm going to probably go more out of my way to try to help them, because I know they're not local, they're not from here. So I'm going to do a little bit more to try to help them find their destination. So if I'm in another country and I happen to go up to a beautiful woman and I say, and I'm telling you, I'm not lost. Most of the times I'm not lost. I have my little Google Maps, and you can download the map. So I kind of know how to get from point A to point B, but I'll tell them I don't know how to get to point A. I don't know how to get to the park. Where's the park? And so I'll ask them, and then they'll, that opens up the dialogue. I'm asking them in English, so they already know, okay, well, they're not from around here, so I'm going to try to help them. And then you can kind of throw in different things. Hey, where's a good place to eat? And where do you eat? Where's a good place to get coffee? Why don't you come with me and get you, come with me for coffee or what have you. And that's not it's not weird. You might think it's weird, but it's not weird to, like, if you're talking with someone, but hey, let's sit down for coffee. You can tell me about the city, like tell me different places to go. I can even throw in I'm a YouTuber. I want to shoot videos on different things. And then they get all, everybody knows. And this is another thing too, like 10 years ago, we had no idea what YouTube was. But now, I think I hear my phone ringing in the other room. Uh, but now, like, people know what a YouTuber is, and I could be in Colombia and I could say, "Yeah, I do YouTube. I'm a YouTuber." Oh, YouTube. Yeah, everybody knows what YouTube is now. So it's not uncommon for you to kind of strike up a conversation with someone and then sit down and talk with them offline. And then if you don't speak the language and you're thinking, "Well, I'm not going to go to Colombia because I don't speak Spanish," learn the basics. Learn restroom, baño, learn greetings, hola, buenas. Learn that stuff, and then you can rely on Google Translate to help you out with some of the other stuff. And now Google Translate is so good that you can have it, put it on conversation mode, and I can just talk back and forth. So, like, I hit the little, like, basically, on your Google Translate, it's going to have one section is going to be English, one section is going to be Spanish, and they're going to have the two little mics. I hit the mic for English. I say what I want to say in English. It translates it to Spanish. It reads it shows it, and then it actually says it in Spanish. And then they can hit the button for Espanol for Spanish, and then it will translate in English. It'll say it in English, and it'll translate it so I can read it. And it's pretty fast. Like when I'm saying it, it's actually translating it at that point in writing, and then it will say it. So it's really good. I mean, that Google Translate is a really good device to use. But yeah, I would. And then once you get there, when you go to any country, like if you want to speak the language, you go to that country, you're going to learn a lot just by being there, and you're going to learn a lot through body language too. So you're going to know kind of what people are saying, even if you don't understand all the words they're saying, just by their body language and how what they're saying, or through their body language and how they're displaying their body language. Okay. MG Tell, know of any credit cards where bonus points will work with any of the budget Mexican airlines like Viva, Interjet, Volaris, etc. All you need to do is Aero Mexico. I don't know. I don't know the partners with Mexico. I haven't really traveled to Mexico. Like, I've never traveled on a plane to Mexico. I've done cruises. I live in Southern California, so it's easy for us to jump on a cruise or just to go down to the border in TJ. So I've never flown to Mexico. But the easiest thing for you to do is to look at the transfer partners. I'm sorry, the travel partners. So let's say I have United. Look at United Star Alliance partners, and whoever falls in that category with Star Alliance partners, then you know if you have a Chase Sapphire Preferred or Chase Sapphire Reserve, you have ultimate reward points. You can transfer those points over. You can book a flight you can transfer your points over to United, book a flight on United, and fly out on one of these airlines. A good example is when I flew to Hawaii. Part of my flight, part of my flights were on Hawaiian Air. And Hawaiian Air is a partner of United, and that's why I was flying on Hawaiian Air. But I booked everything on United. I didn't even have to go to those airlines. Now, as far as so the bottom line is the points will work as long as they're a partner. Okay. Now there are other ways too where you can transfer points directly to some of these different airlines. If you really you want to make a commitment and fly on, let's say, Aeromexico or one of these other airlines that fly to Mexico, you can book it. You can book it that way as well. Just transfer your points over and book it like that. But you have to look at and find out where you can transfer points. Mexico's not one place that I've not that I don't want to go there, but I don't have any experience flying into there. Okay. James says, David, I know you like Hyatt hotels. What are your thoughts on Marriott hotels? I guess the comparison between the two. I haven't stayed in a Marriott in a while. I've stayed at more Hiltons, so I could probably give you a better idea of that. The hotel chains are good, all of them. The only problem that I have with Marriott, actually, the only problem I have with all the others
is it just seems like you have to spend more points. Now you can earn more points. Like with Hilton's a good example. You have to use more points to stay for one night. I spent that 25,000, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot, and it is a lot at the Grand Hyatt, but it's a Grand Hyatt. Whereas some lower level Hiltons or some lower level Marriott, you're still spending 15,000 points to stay a night. So I like the simplicity of Hyatt because I know like 5,000 points, 12,000 points, it's usually not that many points compared to some of the competitors. But I think all the hotel chains are good. They all work. It's just if I have and I have that Chase ecosystem, so I have a lot of these points that are set up in the Chase ecosystem. I don't really like to what's the word? I don't like to transfer points from my Ultimate Rewards program to a Marriott if I have to spend 25,000 points to stay the night. I just feel like I'm wasting a lot of my points. So I don't want to have to do that. So that's kind of the reason why I stick with Hyatt. But as far as the hotels and what they offer, I mean, they all offer you you have your top tier, you have your kind of mid range, and then you have your lower end. But they all do a pretty good job. Even on the lower end, they do a pretty good job of it's a nice place to stay. Clean restrooms, clean showers, clean nice comfortable bed and all that. I mean, we're not talking, and I don't want to talk bad about some of the lower, but we all know like you have some motels that you can stay in that are very popular for a lot of people, but it's not a motel. It's still a hotel, and they do a pretty good job of keeping it nice. Okay, so Brian saying no, laugh out loud. Lots of girls shy away when you speak English. So Brian's saying that. Now you know what? And Brian has more experience than I do, but just in my experience, when I come at them with English, they might shy away. But then I mean, I know how to greet someone in Spanish, and I know how to ask for something in Spanish and directions and stuff like that. But I'll put it out there. And Andre said the whole side thing. Okay, so let me just finish. I put it out there in English to get the reaction. And if they respond in English, then I'm like, oh, okay, they speak English. Without asking them if they speak English. Because if you go up and you ask someone if they speak English, most people are going to say no. Just like if I speak some Spanish, but if someone comes up to me and asks me if I speak Spanish, I'm going to say no. because I'm not fluent in Spanish. So I'm gonna say no. But if you come at them with English and they speak English, like and I told this story when I was in at Carnival. I'm walking along and I see this beautiful woman walking, and I use that whole. Well, actually, this time I was really kind of lost. I didn't know where I was going exactly. So this case was like a legit case where I was lost. But I see this woman walking, and there's a group of people walking, but I see her, and so I approach her because I saw that she went up to one of the police officers, and he kind of pointed in the direction. I'm trying to find my way into this block party, and there was a way around the corner, but I didn't know exactly where I was going, so I came up to her, and I came up, and I did the whole line of, do you speak English, which I should have just spoken English. She did speak English, and so we're conversating back and forth. But now, yeah, I just go and I just speak English to them. And if they do shy away, like Brian's saying, and it does, I mean, it does happen. Like, how would you react if you don't speak the language and someone asks you? Then you're kind of like, no, I don't speak, I don't speak that language. But then if they came at you with English, then you're like, oh, okay, I can talk with him. He at least speaks English. So I do the same thing. I go with them in Spanish or with English first, and then if they shy away or they can't, they don't understand what I'm saying, then I go with them with Spanish. And Spanish I know. And then at least they know that I don't speak Spanish fluently, and they're going to help me, and then they're going to try to slow down how they speak or simplify how they speak in Spanish. Because another thing is if you go with them in Spanish, it's like, hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Dónde estás? Like that. And then then they rattle out how to get there in Spanish, and you're like, huh? So at least if they know that you speak English, and you speak some Spanish, because they know if you're talking to them in English and you probably don't speak Spanish fluently, or you would just come at them in Spanish, right? So if you come at them with English, and then they say that they don't understand, and then you speak in Spanish, then they at least know, okay, he speaks some Spanish, but he might not speak it fluently. So I'm gonna try to help him out a little bit more, as far as not just because, I mean, you can speak Spanish really fast, and that's one of the problems, like with me, when I'm trying to learn what people are saying. If they're speaking fast, I can't, hey, slow it down, please. I can't understand what you're saying. So, but Andre and Andrea says, yeah, English speakers are exotic in Colombia, and so that is true. Like I truly believe that people are kind of intrigued, like, oh, you're speaking Spanish, or you're speaking English, like, where are you from? And it opens up a whole new conversation too. Where are you from, right? And I mean, if they really want to talk to you, let's say you see, and I keep using beautiful woman, but let's say you're a woman and you're trying to meet a man out in Colombia, or not even meet, but just conversate with people, just meet people in general. It might not be you want a relationship with them or anything like that, but you just want to meet someone, just a friend or something, or you want someone to show you around town. Just speaking to them in English, they already know. Okay, this is kind of exotic. Like, where are you from? And the U.S., we have such an impact all around the world. People know all these different. They know Las Vegas. They know Hollywood. They know New York City. They know all these places because it's out there. Like, the U.S. is a place where people hear about the most, right? So they know all these different locations, and so they say, "Oh, where are you from?" And, "Oh, I'm from Los Angeles." "Oh, Los Angeles, Hollywood, Hollywood. That's where all the stars are." And so there's so many different conversations that you can have with people and I found that a lot of Colombians they're intrigued about the U.S., and they do want to know about the U.S., especially if they've never traveled there before. And I was just talking with a girl. I'm gonna have her. She's Colombian. I'm gonna have her on this live stream. Hopefully next week we'll have her on. But she was just talking about. I was talking about going to Hawaii for vacation, and she lived in the U.S. for a year, and she was all like, "Oh, that's a wonderful place." She's never been to Hawaii, but she was like, "Oh, I'd love to go there." And because you hear about Hawaii, you hear about how tropical it is, and all that. And I was trying to explain to her, Hawaii is very nice. It's a very beautiful place, but there's some beautiful places out in Colombia that I like just as much. And she was just like, "Wow, that's crazy! Like, I never would have thought that." But it's true. Like, I've been to some islands. I went to Cartagena. When I stayed in Cartagena, we took a couple trips to some of the different islands there. Nice, clear blue water. I mean, really, really beautiful places. So, yeah, everybody hears about the U.S. and they're intrigued. So it kind of gives you that foot in the door, so to speak. Julio, Aero Mexico is pretty good. Yeah, and so and I one of the one of I was looking at at the portal, the travel portal, the Ultimate Rewards travel portal. Now, I used to never even look at that portal, and that's a mistake. Okay, you're usually going to get better value if you transfer your points directly to United or directly to one of your travel partners. You're usually going to get a better deal, but not always. And if you're flying economy, sometimes you can find some of these little sweet spots on the travel portal. And so I was looking on the travel. When I say travel portal, basically you're going on the Ultimate Rewards program. So you go on Chase, you go on the Ultimate Rewards program. American Express, they have their own travel portal. The Citi Thank You Points, they have their own travel portal. So you go on there and you're just putting in what you want to do, where you want to fly and all that. And then they'll pull up what they have available and how many points it will cost. And so I did that uh, with uh, with flying to Colombia, because Colombia the value wasn't good at the time. Like, they were asking for too many points. United was asking for too many points to fly out. I was going to fly out in August. I'm not going in August. I'm going to be going in October now. But I was going to fly out in August, and so I went on the travel portal. I looked on the travel portal. They had some better deals. Aero Mexico was one of the planes that would fly me to Colombia. So it would fly to Mexico City, do a layover in Mexico City, and then on to Colombia. Okay. Poppy IMR says the same thing. If you speak English, you get their attention. You're different. You stand out. Yeah, and that's what you want. And like I said, when it comes to some people, obviously they're going to know. this was this was the first time that I went to Colombia. I went. It was me and two of my friends, and one of my friends is black, and then one of my friends is I believe he's Korean. No, he's Chinese. He's Chinese, and so they were just enamored by my other buddy, Ken, the guy, the Chinese guy. They were just like, and you see like people, he's like getting like all these, everybody's like looking because you don't see that many people from Asia in Colombia, and so he stood out, and people, I swear to you, people were taking pictures with him. That's how crazy it was. They were like taking pictures, like, hey, take a picture. And they wanted to take a picture with him because you don't see that many Asian people out there. So he's exotic, he's different. He has a story that they want to know about. So even though he's from America, he's not even from China, but he's Chinese, and they see that, so he's automatically he's exotic to them. So they like. I mean, they like that. I can speak for Colombia. I know firsthand they do like that kind of exotic people that come from other countries. And I'm the same way. Like I said, in the U.S., if I see someone and they're speaking a different language, I'm kind of automatically wondering what they're speaking, where they're coming from. And then if it's like a place that I know a little bit about, then I want to ask them about the different things they have there. Just like if I were, found out someone's from Colombia and they're in the U.S. and then, oh, I've been to Colombia, and I'm striking up this conversation and we're talking about all the different stuff in Colombia. Okay, all right, guys. Thank you guys all for stopping by. We're gonna go ahead and end it now. Please, on your way out, hit the like buttons. I'm trying to get up to 30 likes here. I don't know exactly how many I have right now, but hopefully we can get 30 likes for each video, each live stream that we put out. I'll be back on Saturday. I will be on at 7 for sure, but I'm probably going to have an interview too. So all along the same time. So I don't know if I'll do like maybe I don't know exactly how I'm going to set it up. But we're going to do travel credit cards. We will be talking about that. We'll do kind of the random thing where if you guys have cards you want to talk about, just put them out there, and then we'll open up a screen capture, and then we'll look at the different credit cards, and we'll talk a little bit about them. But then also I have an interview that I'm trying to set up here, so we'll do that as well. And then we'll just kind of go from that. And then on Monday, we're going to do another live stream on Monday, and then we'll just keep it rolling. And I'll be putting out some videos too this week on just different things that are going on in the whole travel rewards world, as well as some of the tips and travel guide when it comes to Kauai. I was able to go to some restaurants that I really think are worth mentioning. So I'm going to do a video just on that, just a travel guide, where to eat in Kauai. If you don't know, Kauai is a very small island. Or I shouldn't say it's an island there's not a lot going on there. It's a very relaxed island. Okay, so it's not like Honolulu. If you've been to Waikiki, it's almost like being in LA or something. It's a lot going on. But Kauai is a much slower pace. And if you guys saw any of the videos that I put out already when I was there, like I'm sitting on a beach and there's 2 or 3 people there. That's it. Whereas if you're in the U.S., if you're in California, you go to any beach, especially if it's a nice day, you're gonna have people everywhere. So it's a very laid back and less going on there. Okay, so yeah, like I said, that's all I have. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate you guys supporting me. Brian, thank you for the super chat. John, thank you for the super chat. We had some other super chats. Aquaman Love, thank you. Ed James, thank you for the super chat. And I really appreciate it. I really do from the bottom of my heart. I just like the support that I'm getting as far as whether it be super chats or whether people just coming on and listening to what I have to say and participating. That's what I want. I want to build a big community of people who are like-minded, people who like to travel, You don't have to like to use credit cards. I get it. Credit cards aren't for everyone. But if you could at least learn a little of the tips that I talk about when it comes to travel and some of the stuff that we share when it comes to travel, like we were just talking about Colombia and how to approach people, uh, just different things like that. Hopefully, you can get something from that. So you don't always have to use travel credit cards. Uh, and you can still benefit just by being a member of a program, of a hotel chain, of an airline brand. Just being a member of them sometimes will get you some perks that you wouldn't normally get. So just different things to think about there. But like I said, thank you guys for stopping by. I am going to go now, and I will be back on next Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Talk to you later. Bye.